It's 3 a.m. in a one-stop town. Neon buzz and the world shut down. Coffee's cold, but the mic's still warm. There's a storm outside and another reform. Headlights roll down Highway 8. Folks still talking about the state of the state. Bills go up, paychecks thin. Feels like a house always wins. But there's a voice on the air tonight, cutting through that pale moonlight. Mike in the night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a county sign. You can run, you can hide, you can close your eyes, but you feel that moving deep inside. At 3 a.m. when the silence is broken, old guitar and the truth outspoken. No teleprompter, no token, just a man saying I have spoken. Small town farmers, city trees, trying to read through the masquerades. Paper headlines, polished lies, but you can see it in the people's eyes. Granddad said, son, stand tall, don't let fear build your walls. Mama prayed by the kitchen light, said keep your heart strong through the fight. So he turns that dial a little more, like knocking on a closed back door. Mike in the night, on the AM line. Truth coming through like a warning sign. You can feel it shift when the clock strikes 3, like something's waking inside of me. At 3 a.m. when the static's spoken, old school fire that can't be broken. No script read, no words soft spoken, just a man saying I have spoken. Ain't about right, it's about sleeping good at night, about working hard and keeping faith and calling out what just ain't straight when the world feels cold and tight. There's a voice in the dark saying it'll be alright. Mike is the night, hear the tone. Front porch truth over dial tone. 3 a.m. and the veil's wide open. Every word card then I'm open. From the back roads to the broken, on the quiet towns to the outspoken. Steel strings ringing, hearts are low when he tips his hat and says I have spoken. I have spoken.
Oh yeah, you're tuned into a really good show here tonight. For Mike in the Night. Today is Monday, the 4th of May. May the 4th be with you. The 4th of May, 2026. We are in week 19 of the year. Week 19 of the year. The year is just flying by, people. 19 weeks in. And today is Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you all. And episode 649. And it's yeah, we are breaking records here. We are on season 35, episode 8 of Mike in the Night. And it's an absolute pleasure being here with you guys all these years, talking, connecting the dots, figuring shit out, trying to, figure out where things are going. What are they planning for us? What are they lying to us about? What are they projecting for us? What kind of BS? Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. And I love getting your calls in, and I love you guys calling into the show, making the big difference. Makes a huge difference when you guys call into the show because it adds truth. And that's what we're all about here, is it's searching for the truth. And that's why we've never taken the money here, and clean as a whistle, and here to basically tell you guys what the deal is, right? So So we got okay, we got the chat rolling here. Nice. People are joining us now here for Mike in the Night 649. There's some people in the chat who haven't seen in a while. Search for the Truth is in the chat tonight. Dino Bravo is always here. Yeah, we got all kinds of cool people here tonight. As usual, it's always cool people, cool crowd, cool. And you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. We're now streaming on Kick. So if you guys want to go over on Kick and find us, see if you could find us on Kick. See if you could find us on Kick, if we're even findable. Because it's been very hard to find us even on YouTube for the last 10, 15 years, right? All right, guys, let's go into some channel important analytic thingies. So if you guys want to join our mail list, it's mikemartins1980@gmail.com. That's mikemartins1980@gmail.com. Go ahead and email me and then just ask me, and I can put you on our mail list. So we could put you on our mail list that when we go live, you won't miss an episode of Mike in the Night, okay? Also, guys, don't remember, if your discretion is advised, 21 and older, this show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. 18 U.S. Code Section 2257 for Mike in the Night. And what was it? Yeah, that's that right there. And let's go into a quick channel plug here, folks, before we go into all the headlines and stuff. There's not much of a plug, but kind of more fun. If you want to buy your boy a coffee, guys, I'm going to give you my coffee link right here. Boom, copy, boom, link, boom. And if you're watching this on replay, there should be a link in the replay. If you want to buy your boy a coffee, go ahead and do that. And channel here on YouTube is doing well. If you guys want to, if you ever wanted to join the channel for $1 a month or $1 or $3, whatever it is, the tiers, there's different tiers there. Go ahead and join that if you want. Rumble, we're on Rumble. Rumble, if you go to mikeofthenight.org, takes you to a list of all our episodes of Mike in the Night. Most episodes of Mike in the Night, we're moving them over. They're all over the place because we kept getting banned everywhere. And let's go over here to Facebook is Facebook. We're also live on here if you guys want to check us out on here. And we're also on Instagram. And I'm going to give you guys the Instagram for a reason, guys. If you want to call into the show, we use Instagram. And Instagram works perfectly. We haven't had a single problem with Instagram. There's the Instagram right there. Just send me a message. I'll check under requests. And if you request to message me, I'll see the request. And then we'll go ahead and you can go ahead and call into the show when we open lines. And yeah, we're blowing up here back on TikTok, blowing up again. But it looks we got already another community guideline violation right here. So don't depend too much on TikTok. We already got 3 suspensions on there too, recently. And if you're bored and you want to buy something, a mug or something, go check out Shop Mike Martins. There's a link in the description, and there's a link in the description of the video if you guys want to buy something. We don't sell anything from here. I'm not lying. Nobody buys. I didn't sell anything this year yet. I think I sold 2 things last year. So I don't want you guys to think he's making all this money selling t-shirts. No, I'm not. I don't sell t-shirts, but I have them if somebody wants to buy them, okay? So there they are right there. And Dano, don't forget, Dano is running for the People's Artist, right? So right now he's currently 2nd place in his group. So if you guys want to go in and vote for Dano, I'm going to copy the link. Dano for Mike in the Night. So if you guys want to, boom, go ahead there and vote for Dano, our boy Dano in Huntington Beach, who does all this great art. Has done lots of art for Mike in the Night over the years. He's been with us. He's called in multiple times. And if you guys want to just go there and vote for him, it's free. I would appreciate that very much. I think he'd appreciate it very much too. We got 10 days left on the voting panel. So there it is. That's the plug. It's Mike in the Night. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm just going through the chat here. Yeah, Dano has amazing art, says Mr. IMC. Yeah, he's right. He does. He's a really, really good artist. Really good guy, too. Yeah, buying long-term food is a must. That's something we've been preaching about, stacking and, you know, long-term food, all that for years now. We've been on the whole federalization of food, too, where governments want to federalize your food and have federalized food stores. That was something we were bringing up back in 2017, 2018, right? I remember back in 2014, 2015, we were on cancer theory in 2014, 2015. We were on cancer theory, and we were talking about that cancer might even be a parasite. I didn't discover it. We were reading medical journals from blacklisted doctors. Now it's coming out that cancer is a parasite. Joe Rogan said so. It's a parasite now. Yep. Joe Rogan said so now. So that's the information's there for years, but nobody cares unless someone of utmost important, like what's that guy? What's that idiot's name? Russell Brand. When he says something, you stop everything you're doing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. You stop everything you're doing and you listen to Russell Brand. I don't care if you're operating a vehicle, flying a plane, on a train. You stop what you're doing to listen to Russell Brand. Yes. The guy finds Jesus in a pancake one day and he becomes like, I don't know. Anyways, Toronto's looking to turn into New York City with fed food stores. Yeah, but this is something we're talking about like almost 8-9 years ago. The videos are up. I'm not talking about this is coming, right? Federalization of food's coming. And Tio, oh my God, Tio already sent me a coffee. Thanks, Tio. Tio, I don't know. Thanks for the coffee, buddy. Okay. All right. Yeah, just don't use leverage. Make sure you're diversified. Yeah, stop. You can't borrow your way out of debt. That was a little thing that we been saying on the channel. You cannot borrow your way out of debt. It doesn't work. I don't care what you do with it. Unless you're Hillary Clinton and you put $3,000 in some animal fund, weird shit fund, and then end up getting back $6 million. Unless you're Hillary Clinton. Or that other one, Pelosi. Right? Pelosi there, Nancy Pelosi, with the inside trading and all that shit, right? You know what I'm saying? Unless you put like $2,000 into something, get back $2 million. Like these people usually do, right? So. Any news on the Philippine volcano eruption? I'll check it out. We'll look at it through the headlines tonight. But yeah, it's a very interesting time to be alive, my beautiful people. It truly is an interesting time to be around. We are in a very, I'm calling it catch and release territory we're in right now. It's really weird. It just doesn't make any sense. And why certain things are being allowed. And then for so many years, they tell us how this is right, this is wrong. And now this is wrong, this is right. And they switch it around, right? So let's see what we got here for you guys tonight on the show. It's bizarro land we're in right now. And let's go into... Yeah, let's go into some... usually through the week, I put up polls for you guys. So here it is. Now, I wanted to know from you guys on this one. As for today's video, genocide of the white man, do you think Canada would be like South African levels by 2030, 2035? So the genocide against the white farmers is spreading out, and it's getting really bad in South Africa. And it's not just against the white farmers now, it's against other black people from other African countries are being targeted now. So now they're going they're blaming everybody but themselves for destroying their own country. So as for today's video, 120 votes, 69% of the people said yes. Canada will become like South Africa by 2030 to 2035. They'll be coming after the European expansion. The people that fought for the wars in this country and built this country are the ones that are on the hook. If they're Christian, they're on the hook. So 69% say yes. 18% says no. 8% says we are already there. And 5% says the South African genocide against white farmers is a hoax. Media says so. So 5% of the people believe that the South African genocide is a hoax. And 5 days ago, this is referring to a video we made back in 2022, how I said 97 or 96% of everything around you is a complete lie. Well, here it is right here. I put the poll up again. I believe that blank percentage of everything we are told is a lie. So 6% of people said 50% of everything around us is a lie. 3% of people said 65% of everything around us is a lie. 15% of people believe that 75% of everything around us is a lie. And then 76% of people basically agreed that 90+% of everything around us is a lie. It's bullshit, right? Total bullshit.
Merry Christmas. I'm a lawyer.
All right. And was Donald Trump's recent assassination attempt staged? 64% says yes, and 36% says no.
CALLO.
All right, and Mark Carney's sovereign wealth fund is money laundering. 61% of you guys believe that Mark Carney is sovereign wealth fund is money laundering. 61%. 32% of you believe that it's a scam. Canada is broke. And 5% of you guys saying a major benefit for Canada's future. And 2% says so Canada can distance itself from the U.S. All right, so those are some of the polls I put up through the weeks for you guys. You can find them on our YouTube channel. I put up polls from time to time on there to kind of get into what you guys are thinking or what you guys are feeling or what's being told to us or how we're being, what they're projecting to us through their bullshit, right? So, all right, that's that. But it's good. I'm reading the comments here. My comments are moving nicely here, guys. Thanks for all being here tonight. It's all lies and jests. Yeah. So that's that right there. All right, let's move on to Australia. And there's not much happening. There's lots happening in Australia, but key stuff I want to cover here is a man in serious condition after being stabbed in the street in Melbourne CBD. So somebody was stabbed there, and we've been warning you guys that Australia, New Zealand, the UK, and Canada, we were warning you guys back in 2015 that knife crimes were set to skyrocket in the Commonwealth, and we were taking projections off of the UK that was averaging about 37,000 stabbings per year to 40,000 stabbings a year. And yeah, so the Commonwealth is going to be 100% stab city, right? And as they take guns away from people, that's not going to stop criminals. Criminals are going to still shoot and stab, right? And they're going to find ways, right? What are they going to do? Start banning can openers? If someone finds a clever way to kill someone with a can opener, they're going to start put a war out on toasters or can openers or whatever. So, yeah, so that's that right there. And also in Australia, we covered this in a short. Australia's under 16 social media ban fails. 73% ignore it, right? Compliance sits at 27%, and the model says it has further to fall. So people are not complying, right? Australia's under 16 social media ban has been in force for 4 months now, and the headline finding from new working paper out of the University of Chicago's Becker-Ferdman Institute is that around 3/4 of teenagers it targets are ignoring it. There it is. Nobody gives a rat's ass. Nobody is going to comply, and this is what governments are in fear of. They want to find ways to track us. Digital prison we've been talking about for the last, 8-9 years. The digital prison they want to put us in. And this is a real deal, folks. And governments can't sleep at night. Governments cannot sleep at night trying to find a way to screw us over. They can't sleep at night. Someone just messaged me. Oh, there you go. Another coffee. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. So, from our boy G there. He's in the I think he's in the live chat there. God sent promo. Thanks for the coffee, buddy. I appreciate it. All right. So that's what's happening. And these guys, I'm telling you, these guys don't sleep well at night knowing or figuring out ways to rob us, hurt us, deceive us. Yep. And someone in the comments is saying those 5% and 2% folks are brainwashed. Woo! Woo! Yeah. Yeah. All right. Guys, bear with me here, okay? I do want to bring something up for you guys. Just bear with me here. Right now, it's 32. It's 32 centigrade in this room. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, like 198, 100. It's 32 degrees centigrade in my room, and it's 27 degrees outside. So it's really hot in here. So I'm sorry. My clothes is completely soaked. I've been in here for maybe 15 minutes with the show, and I'm completely soaked here. All right. All right. All right. Let's go over to Canada. All right. Let's go to Canada. So over in Canada, we got Canadian business closure surge 1 in 20 shutter in a month. So more and more private business is struggling to maintain profits, struggling to maintain continuity of business, period. The taxation, the cost of living, everything is just going up. I'm not telling you something you don't know already, but I do want to let you guys know, we did tell you so. Mike and the Knights, big retail closures, private sector under attack, tax attack. They want to federalize. So they want to federalize everything, basically. And that was 7 years ago we streamed that. Right? And there it is right here. Here it is. There's the episode right there. Mike and the Knights. Lowe's closing 31 Canadian properties, 20 stores in the U.S. restructuring. And this was, when was this, Mike and the Knights? November 10th, 2018, Mike and the Knight. And that was way back in the day. I wonder what episode that was. I got to go check. But that's the episode right there, Mike and the Knight. And we were warning you guys about this because that's just where we're headed. And oops, I lost the article. It's gone. All right, guys. So, what's this? Cocaine, meth, and fentanyl seized in Kelowna from suspect traveler. Well, unfortunately, I didn't find the article's gone that I wanted to share with you guys. It's just, boom, gone. Nearly 1 in 19 Greater Toronto rental units sit vacant. More on the way. So more and more sitting vacant because of Chinese money laundering. We were warning people in Toronto back in 2016 when Vancouver put the foreign buyer's tax on that the tsunami, it's up, the video's up, tsunami's going to head east. The tsunami went to Washington State in, Bellingham, Seattle, Olympia, Washington, and destroyed the housing market in Washington State. Then it went over to head over the tsunami to Toronto and just destroyed the housing market there. A lot of these units were just built. A lot of these condo units were just built for Chinese money laundering, right? The Chinese laundered from 2010 to March 2024, $2.4 to $2.6 trillion through Canadian real estate. And I think there's about 3.9 million empty units in Canada. I think because already in 2017, we're reporting 1.9 million empty units. And then the Canadian government wants to blame the 4,000 Canadians that have an Airbnb and blame the Canadians for it, not the Chinese money laundering and the vacant units, creating artificial shortages and bidding wars. Right? So I want to share that with you guys for Canada. There's a lot more coming out of Canada with all kinds of BS with Europe and stuff. It's just a sideshow, guys. Don't focus on what Carney's saying. Try and focus on what he's trying to hide. Because we warned you guys in 2022, November, a man named Mark Carney's coming. And he will become your crime minister. And he's going to be, oh no, Mike, he's a banker. He's a banker. He's not a politician. Well, here we are, folks. Here we are. That's where we're at now. Let's go back to your comments here. Small storefront, Toronto, cost $50K a month. Holy max! $50? $50,000 for just to rent a property? Someone says there's at least 500,000 empty condos and houses in LMBC. Lower Mainland BC. So yeah, more. I think we were already reporting 600,000 in the Lower Mainland already in 2015, right? I can look the videos up. It's all documented. That's why they keep taking down our videos, eh? They keep taking down our shit. Why? Because we were right. So, All right. So Glenn is saying BC wide, we got 1 million empty condos and housing. That's in the province of BC. I think we're at 3.9 million right across the country. I know Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick, Newfoundland, and PEI have a massive vacancy problem, like lots of vacant properties there, owned by Chinese money laundering. The Raven's in the comments, ladies and gentlemen, and he is
Going on a trip?
saying that they fired 2 engineers this week at his place of work. And remember, guys, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets any better, folks.
Ricky Spanish.
All right, let's move on here. Let's move it along here. All right, the great replacement of Europe, the great replacement of the white man, the great replacement. If you built this country, you fought for this country, or you laid some groundwork or foundation for this country, you're being replaced. The job is done. Thanks for building everything. We don't need you no more. So what's happening? What am I talking about? Polls show 60% of France sees population replacement by non-Europeans. Again, it's people coming from North Africa or Middle East and stuff coming in into France. And a majority of French citizens now believe they are witnessing a demographic replacement of the French population by non-European populations, mainly from Africa. Record residence permits hit 4.5 million in 2025, with new permits surging by 11%. 66% of French respondents view the demographic change as a negative development, of course, and concerns crosses political lines, with 64% of socialist voters and 37% of Macron's own base agreeing replacement is occurring. Right-wing leaders are demanding stricter immigration controls as public pressure mounts on the government. You know, 20 years ago, it was 25 years ago, it was almost impossible to immigrate to Europe. It was impossible. Europe was a big no-no. Oh, I'm from Canada. I can move to England. I speak English and this. No, very hard to move to the European Union 25 years ago. Very hard. Very strict, right? To move into Europe. Now they just open it with the UN Migration Pact. Canada signed the UN Migration Pact too. Remember, we covered that back in 2018, November, when Canada signed the UN Migration Pact. That's a very important Mike in the Night, right? That discusses the opening and the quantities of migrants they need to bring into their country, right? All right, let's keep going here. UK, what's going on in UK? UK government authorizes mass euthanasia for citizens who overuse NHS resources. So if you have to go to the hospital, you're not feeling well, or you go a few times just to get something straightened out, well, the UK government is pushing toward authorizing mass euthanasia for citizens who overuse NHS resources, has taken a chilling new turn as a perfectly healthy but grieving British mother has been euthanized at a Swiss clinic. So 56-year-old, depressed, was basically euthanized. Duffy was killed via death on demand. Death on demand. Processes for people in emotional distress rather than physical decline. Emotional distress than physical decline. Guys, think about that, folks. Think about that for a minute, man. You're having a bad day. You ain't feeling well. You throw a sandwich at someone you're peed off at, or you're just having a bad day, right? And you want to end it all. I can't, screw, why? And then you walk in and you go on death on demand, sign a few papers, and within an hour, you're dead. And a lot of people lose it people are real quick to lose it these days. Throw it all away over nothing. And yeah, and that's what's happening. They want to wipe us out. Oh yeah. EU pushes a meta toward digital ID and age verification under DSA, threatens 6% revenue fine. There's the revenue fine we were talking about back 2 years ago. So Brussels just told Meta that asking users their birthday isn't a verification system anymore, and the fix means every social media account becomes either a behavioral surveillance file or a government ID check. Holy smokes, guys. Holy smokes. So this is going down for real. EU slammed over multi-billion AI infrastructure splurge plan. Brussels is set to announce plans to build the massive computing hubs, while critics stress there is almost no domestic artificial intelligence industry to use them. So there it is right there. They're building these huge hubs. The EU has planned to spend over 20 billion euros on AI gigafactories, has drawn sharp criticism ahead of its formal launch as lawmakers and experts question whether there is any real demand for these facilities. Yes, the demand for these facilities is the future. It's not here yet. The demand for these facilities will be in the next 3 to 5 years, folks. They're laying the groundwork, right? If you look at our digital ID or digital videos, digital ID, digital prison, digital, what was it? Digital currency. They're laying the groundwork, right? We're making videos back in 2016 about this, laying the groundwork for this digital prison they're going to put us in. And this is an interesting one. Students raped after being forced to live in a complex alongside migrants in an attempt to aid in integration. You can't make this stuff up. Students were subject to years of sexual violence, harassment, and physical attacks by migrants at an Amsterdam housing complex designed as pioneering integration projects. They want to integrate people into... You can't integrate foreign, non-educated, different religion. It just won't work. That's why we had borders around these countries for years, and people fought with their lives to protect their borders so their women and children will be safe at home. That's why we have borders in the countries. That's why they ask you for paperwork when you go into another country, right? And just bringing in people that are not gonna take in the country and not, I don't know, and not streamlining with the people. It's really sad. It's a really, really, really sad situation. And EU crime reports, rape reports in Spain surged by 322% over the last decade. EU sees a 150% increase. In Spain, the data shows that foreigners commit per capita 500% more rapes and 414% more murders than Spanish citizens. Of course, Spanish people are predominantly Catholic. They don't go around killing people. You know what I'm saying? And new data released by Eurostat on Wednesday reveals the staggering rise of reported sexual crimes across the European Union, with Spain showing an increase far beyond the continental average. And kids can't go to school. Kids can't walk to school anymore. It's a complete disaster right now. Parts of Spain are really heavily inundated with these migrants. And when is enough going to be enough where people put their hands up, say, hey, I'm done with this shit. What is this shit? What am I paying for? Because the majority of the people are paying for this shit. Governments are not paying for nothing. Governments are taking from you to pay for this shit. Why is this shit happening? Right? So this assimilates. Yeah, thank you. Assimilate. Someone in the comments are helping me out there. Well, this is bullshit. Look at this. Look at the numbers. It's bullshit. 322% rapes surge, and EU sees 150% increase across the European Union. And in Spain, the data shows foreigners commit per capita 500% more rapes and 414% more murders than Spanish citizens. What is this shit? Who's paying for this? You are. You're paying for this shit. Right? I got someone in the comments saying the migrants are ganging up against white people at work. We're cooked. Oh yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, we're just getting warmed up. We're getting warmed up now. All right. Let's close all this here. Let's move on to Okay, let's play this. A lot of people are understanding the U.S. national debt clock, so I made a video, a little bit more easier a video to follow on the U.S. national debt clock. We've been covering this. I don't want to keep covering the same thing over and over like a broken record, but we need to cover this. I'm going to play a short clip here, and then we're going to go into some of the headlines here of what's happening in the war there, or the war they're claiming. Understand what just happened. I saw this last night. I caught it by chance, and I want to make a video about it today. And we're going to talk about the U.S. national debt. Yes, we're making another video about that because this is major, okay? The U.S. national debt has now exceeded 100% of GDP. That means that country owes more money than it produces in an entire year. We're talking 34 trillion in debt versus roughly 27-ish trillion in GDP. Last time that happened, I remember in high school we learned this. Last time that happened in the U.S. was during World War II, I think. That's the last time. And back then it was about to fight a global war, right? And not to fund this bloated government, interest rates, bizarro deficits, gigantic government funding, right? Now, this is where it's going to get really dangerous. Interest on the debt alone is over $1 trillion per year. I believe that's more than what the U.S. spends on defense. Maybe it's in and around that. And the cost of past spending is now bigger than protecting the country, if my numbers are right? So what's going to happen in the short term? Governments keep printing, borrowing, kicking the can to the next cul-de-sac, not down the road, next cul-de-sac. Inflation stays sticky, rates stay higher longer, and middle class gets squeezed harder. That's just how it is. Now, what are we looking at long term here? What are we looking at long term? This is where it breaks. Either they implement massive tax hikes, just like what Canada's paying in Australia, or currency devaluation, or defaults through inflation. They default through inflation. I don't think there's any scenario they could do that could magically fix this problem, right? And the real problem is when debt passes GDP, the history is showing us that growth slows, okay? Because of investing in the future, you're paying for the past now, right? This isn't just, I'm not just throwing out numbers here. This is the moment, in my opinion, where the system flips from building wealth to servicing debt. And once that switch happens, I believe the middle class will never recover from it. It just disappears. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken. All right, guys. So, U.S. claims sinking of Iranian boats a lie. Senior military officer tells IRIB. So earlier today when I woke up this morning, U.S. is taking credit for sinking a bunch of boats. Iran saying it's a lie. They didn't sink anything. And what do we got breaking here? Let's see if there's anything breaking news here. Let's go quick here for breaking. All right, 13 minutes ago, shipping tanker monitor says Iran could use blockade oil exports for domestic consumption. 28 minutes ago, U.S. Embassy in UAE sends out an alert of potential aerial threats. 38 minutes ago, Hind Rajab would have been 8 years old this week. And 48 minutes ago, Iran fires on South Korean ship. Back channel talks with Iran continue. So, guys, that's what's happening right now, up to date in the war. Iran threatens long-term painful strikes on U.S. targets if Trump resumes bombing. And U.S. to withdraw 5,000 troops from Germany amid Trump-Merz dispute. Now, here's the problem. Germany is being taken over by migrants. U.S. would operate in Germany kind of almost like a Peace Corps or a kind of like a call to action, martial law, so to say, a form of martial law for Germany to help Germany hand in hand. But I think Germany's purposefully doing this on purpose to get the U.S. troops out, so when the decline happens in Germany, there's no foreign boots on the ground that are going to get hurt or harmed, so to say, okay? So pay attention to what I'm saying there. That's my angle on that one. And let's keep going. Iran hits U.S. Navy ship with missile strike, says media. U.S. naval patrol boat has been hit by 2 Iranian missiles not far from the Strait of Hormuz after it ignored warning to stay out of the critical waterways. Far's news agency has reported it claimed that the boat was forced to retreat without providing information on the damage. So let's keep going. Gold price continues to slide as U.S.-Iran deal stalls. And gold dipped on Monday after 2 straight weekly declines as stalled U.S.-Iran deal continues to reinforce investors' inflation concerns. Spot gold fell as much as 1.8% to just above $4,500 an ounce during early hours of trading before paring half of the losses. U.S. gold futures also fell, but trading slightly higher, nearly 4,600. Now, if you guys go back to our video from, it was actually October. I keep saying November of last year. It was actually October of last year. We told you guys we're going to war, buy oil. You guys know the video I'm talking about. We're going to oil, buy oil. And I mentioned, and I told you guys, I do not give financial advice because I can't read. Don't take financial advice from someone that can't read. And I told you guys, Crescent Point, Baytex, and Athabasca oil in Canada is going to go up. And I bought that for almost like at the bottom. Literally at the bottom. And it's okay. I'm finally doing okay for the first time in investing in like 20 years. It's finally showing some strength. Wow. Woo! Thank you. But the video's up there, so I'm not being greedy. Everything's there. So everything I do, if I'm moving something around, telling you guys I bought some airline stock, I bought this stock, I bought that, I usually make a video telling you guys what to take a look at next. But we told you about oil back in October of last year, not November. And this is an interesting one coming out of Texas. Watch this, guys. Taxpayer-funded Texas water park announces Muslims-only day will require dress in accordance with Islamic values and serve only halal slaughtered meat. Why? Muslim-only event with $65 food ticket, without food $55. I don't understand why this segregation is starting, right? So the segregation would start with water parks, then it's going to become airports, then it's going to become buses, and it's going to start becoming libraries. It's going to become everything, where they're going to exclude the people that built the building. The people that built the building don't count anymore. And the people that built the building and their kids and parents and uncles fought wars to keep that country free is no longer free. You see what's happening here, right? So this is really heartbreaking that this is happening in a Western territory that was founded on the Ten Commandments, right? And yeah, it's there it is right there, folks. I'm very disappointed that this is happening and this is allowed to exist in America. Canada? I'm surprised Canada didn't come up with this first. I'm surprised Canada didn't do this first. But America? Why are they allowing this to happen? All right. Yeah, Rusty Behemoth Hammer is saying, I'm close to a millionaire now because I stacked so much effing silver. Good for you. Yeah, paper isn't worth jack. Paper's not worth jack. We made videos, if you guys remember, paper contracts versus physical, right? We told you guys what was happening with JP Morgan and all the naked short buys and all the metal spoofing they were doing. If you guys remember, we've been covering that for years. I even think I got a cease and desist order to stop bringing up a couple of names on the whole silver spoofing. But we're talking videos we made in 2015, 2016, like not now, like before, videos we made before, demanding for me to take down videos and stuff, and how they were, cheating the metals and manipulating the metal markets. Yeah. All right. Okay, let's go to this one here, folks. Injecting chemicals into the atmosphere is cheap and easy to do. And that's what they've been doing, guys. And if you want more information on this, I'm not going to read the article. It's right here. Are killing us softly via weather modification. It's under our erased history. We have an erased history conspiracy vault, hidden files. So killing us softly is in our playlist there. I made this video. And I really took the time to make this thing and going over facts and going over just going over everything and making sense of what they're doing to us. So if you haven't seen Killing Us Softly, here it is. Killing Us Softly via weather modification. It was published on October 2024. Check it out if you guys want to see it. It's not the first time we talked about, we talk about this for the last 10, 15 years. And this other one came up today I wanted to share with you guys. Neuralink patient uses brain chip to control robotic arm and pilot drone. Look at that, folks. Look at that. So here's the guy, the gentleman right here, paralyzed man implanted with Neuralink. Wow, I'm very against this Neuralink thing. This is the chip. This is the mark of the beast. This is a way... Yeah, I don't... Yeah. Oh, you're not looking at advancements, Mike. You're not looking at advancements. You want to look at advancements? Build an oil to gas and oil to diesel refinery in every province of Canada and build one in every state of America. Employ hundreds of thousands of people through the private sector and everyone with $50 an hour jobs all across North America. And we'll have an oversupply of fuel we don't need. There's going to be so much fuel that we'll be buying 10, 15, 20 cents a liter. How about that advancement? What about that advancement? How does that advancement sound to you guys? I think that's a great advancement, right? Yeah, Neuralink is satanic. That's a good. And I told you guys, Elon Musk is going to become more dangerous. Elon Musk is going to become more dangerous than Bill Gates. Watch out. All right, guys, you are tuned in to Mike in the Nights, episode 649. Guys, thanks for being here, liking, and being part of the channel for Mike in the Night.
Something is moving you. You're not here by accident. This is Mike in the Night. Mike in the night, we don't sleep, we observe. Truth hits hard, yeah, it cuts like a nerve. Voice of the Commonwealth, breaking the code while the world burns down, yeah, we carry the load. Mike in the night, yeah, the signal is strong. If you're hearing this now, you've been right all along. No size, no lies, yeah, we calling it straight. Welcome to the show, it's already too late. Mike in the night. Mike in the night. Lights out cities, but the screens still glow. People feel it deep, but they don't even know. Debt stacked high, yeah, the system's cracked. Middle class gone, and it ain't coming back. We warned you years, now it's playing out live. Same old script, just a different disguise. Controlled narratives, filtered feeds. Truth gets buried while they plant new seeds. From Toronto streets to the global stage, you can feel the shift, yeah, you feel that mage. History repeats, but it moves real fast. And the future they saw wasn't built to last.
All right, guys. Try to see if there's anybody. Message me. Go ahead and message me ahead on Instagram right now. Instagram is open if you guys want to message me, and then we can get you on the show to give us your points of views on what is going on. So, Prices in BC and Ontario will be falling fast. That's correct, says the Raven. Yeah, well, pricing is 2, 3, 4, 800% overvalued in some areas. People were competing against, again, money laundering from China. Trillions of dollars. Bring it all in. Have the bidding wars, right? Oh, we got a caller here. Is this Black Deplorable? Hello? Is this Black Deplorable?
This is he.
This is he.
Yes,
Yo,
sir.
man, what's going on,
How you
brother?
doing?
You still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. Break it down, man. You call him Mike of the Night. You got something for us, and you always got something for us, brother. And I'm here to listen.
Well, I was gonna just compliment you, man. Like, you're like phenomenal. I don't know how you find the time to like raise a family and run a business and put the show together. I don't know how you do it. What's your secret?
I do it for you guys, right? There's no money in it, right? You know that. So I just do it for you guys. I do it because I like hanging out with you guys for a couple of hours, and this keeps me sane in a way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's either
Yeah,
I
I
talk
like
to you for 3 hours, you guys, or I go talk to a shrink for 3 hours. I'd rather be here.
Yeah. Yeah. How long does it take you to make the music? Like, is that pretty on the AI? Like, how do you do that? I mean, I know you're asking for all your tricks, but like, did it take you a long time to do that?
No,
Or?
it doesn't take long. The long part of making the song is writing the song. Once the song is written, AI will sing it for me. It's not a big deal. It's writing the song properly. If you get AI to write you the song, it's garbage. It doesn't even. It's not even right. It's like it's all. It's you don't even. You just got to write from the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I've got to learn how to do that one day.
It's not hard. You just if you have a song in your head or something that a jingle you made up on your own, I'll send you a link to the software I use. It's not hard. You just put in the lyrics, and you tell it if you want jazz, or salsa, or you know, and then it makes it for you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. So, yeah, we got to talk about Iran.
Go ahead.
Here from the conservative American perspective. So I just want to ask you. So I know you're against it and whatnot, but what do you think the United States should do? Like, what's your whole like take on the thing? Like, what if you were Trump, or United States? What would you want to do?
Well, if I was Trump in the United States, the first thing I would do is make sure the war in Iran fails, and then start controlling the oil, controlling North America oil, and become more domestic.
Mm-hmm.
I would make that war fail in Iran purposefully, and I would go ahead and start North American dominance of oil and energy consumption and stuff and
Yeah, because I'm hearing that's like actually maybe what Trump really wants is for the whole world to break apart the Middle Eastern reliance on Middle Eastern oil and make everybody get it from North America, like both Canada and the United States, and Venezuela. Since we've kind of taken over their oil industry or taken it back.
Well, the U.S. is infrastructuring Venezuela right now, and not only that, is a lot of people bypassed one thing. And one thing I did in my Venezuela, I did a prediction video, if you remember, that Venezuela is the next target. And I was about 8 months or a year off of the Venezuela attack. But one thing I did mention in that too about that Venezuela's next was about the gold mines along the Guyana-Venezuela border that have tons. And now gold is actually not being fully refined in Venezuela. It's being brought up in the raw sense from Venezuela to America right now. And they've been transporting, they've created a pipeline from Venezuela to the United States now of raw gold that's not processed. And it's coming in by the ton right now as I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
So.
And what about the long range missiles? Like, didn't Iran they struck a British military base like that was really far away that they were like? Do you have any concerns about that, or do you think we should worry about that at all, or is that? What do you think?
You got to be careful with those long-range missile attacks. Be super careful, because a lot of times they infiltrate the attacks on themselves as a false flag, so they could draw them into the war. Be careful, because how do we not know that they basically set this whole thing up themselves to false flag themselves, like the Lusitania or the Gulf of Tonkin incident, right? So we don't know, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what completely to think. I'm just worried that if they do have those super long range missiles, they could threaten Europe, and one day, like if like say there's a conflict with Muslims in Europe, a military conflict, they could, threaten Berlin and London and Paris and all that,
Well, these politicians brought this onto themselves, right? So this was brought on by the current last 3-4 administrations have brought this on, right?
But if they one day, like, regain their sanity and decide to kick out a lot of these migrants and get rid of Islam, they could be threatened by Iran, because I mean, to me it's just that, to me it's not even, I don't even like to say Iran. I like to say the mullahs or the IRGC, they seem to be holding that country captive. Like from what I heard, like the vast majority of Iranians just don't want them. They hate them, and it's like maybe one day we can get some, like
bring
friendly
Iran
government
back to the 70s, right?
Yeah, make America, make Iran in the 70s again. Yeah, with hot Iranian women wearing skirts and stuff. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, I have a yearbook video I made about 5 or 8 years ago. It's in my yearbook series on my YouTube channel, where I made videos of places before they became destabilized. And one of the videos I did was Iran, and I think it was 19. Let me see if I can find it here under playlists. You go to playlists, guys, on the channel on YouTube, and then go to yearbook. Here it is. There's 1971 here, New Zealand. Okay, let's bypass that. And this is what the playlist looks like, guys. You go to it. There's Auckland, New Zealand there, 1971. And I want to see if I could find the Iran one. Libya before destabilization. Canada, Australia, 1970. England, 1969. Yeah, the video got taken down originally, and I got to put it back up, but it's shadow banned. Like, no one could see it, right? Our Iran video of, nice women, makeup, nice cars.
Secular.
It's not even here. Oh, no, Iran to Iran, 1970, 1972. Here it is. 1970 to 1972.
Yeah.
And that's the I made this video compilation. What was this, like 8 years ago? So there it is right there, folks. This is what Iran used to be. And playing basketball, women's basketball, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah. Cool. Anyways, keep going.
And also like another perspective I have is that, like, I mean, people keep saying that, Trump started this war, but it's like he may have started the kinetic war, but Iran has been the mullahs they've been at war with us since 1979, pretty much, right? I mean, they've killed more Americans. They're like in the top 5 list of, up there with like the Vietnamese, the Japanese, of who's killed most Americans in the last 100 years. And that's what, like, Trump's been saying, like, why are we allowing them? They've killed thousands of Americans, and then their demands are we get out of the Middle East and get rid of our military bases and stop supporting Israel. What are we supposed to do? Surrender to freaking Iran? Are you kidding me? I'm asking you, like, what do you think? Do you think, like, we should how bad would that look if we just say, okay, Iran, you're right, we'll leave, we'll pack up and leave? I mean,
well, if the U.S. doesn't buy, well, the thing is, I think it could be that nutcracker situation I was thinking of, where it creates a conflict with China too, because right now, China's in trouble because Venezuela owes China, I don't know how many billions of dollars. So, and they're not going to get that money back. Too bad. So China's getting kicked out of Africa right now. They're getting kicked out of Angola. Go watch. You speak Portuguese. Go to the Portuguese news from Angola. You can find it on Facebook and see what they're saying about the Chinese. They got a big problem down there in Portuguese Africa. And then now you got Iran. Now China's falling apart here. Now China's going to have issues with other Iranian oil because China's been buying black market Iranian oil for, I don't know, the last 15 years, right? So so this could be the problem that America's trying to cause between China and the rest of the world too, right?
Mm-hmm. Well,
If
they're
you
trying
notice-
to cause problems for us, though, right? I mean, it's really, I mean, it's Cold War, right?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not needed, but they want it, right?
Mm-hmm. I just think, like, I mean, like, what I like about Trump is, I mean, he's not cowering the way Obama. I mean, that was one of the most disgusting things Obama did. You remember he bowed before President Xi in China?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, oh God, that made me so sick. You know, it's like, are you kidding? And so Trump's like, he's saying, look, you know, like, they're not 10 feet tall. Putin's not 10 feet tall. He's standing up to them. Like, remember, everybody was so terrified of China and Russia. It was like, oh, and you hear these guys, it just makes me sick. Oh, you have to be so scared. You know, it's like, that's not how you deal with bullies. You're just going to invite more bullying.
Mm-hmm.
You have to tell the bully, look, I'm crazy too. It's like when you get these death threats, you say, I live in Merritt. This is my address. Come see me. Pull up. And they're just like, ooh, you know, they wimp out, right? No, it hasn't happened, you know what I mean? Because you're standing up for you. You're letting them know that you're crazy too. If they want some, come get some, you know what I mean? And so it's just like, I just don't like, I can't stand this, you know. I don't know, man. It's like, what's the word?
Boogeyman bullshit.
Yeah, like, you know, like Putin is not 10 feet tall, and neither is China, you know, like, and they just keep like acting like this is all inevitable and we're just supposed to, you know, go away. And Trump's like, nope, petrodollar continues, United States. And I was thinking, like, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, for all of America's flaws and Israel, you know, I mean, we're not perfect. However, we are the defenders of Western classical liberalism.
Christian values too.
And Christian values, yeah.
Without Christian values, this country wouldn't have never been. No one's going to come here from Ireland, Portugal, Spain, Italy to build this country and not be able to live here. Mm-hmm. They're not going to come here and build this and then go back to Europe. They allowed us to come here and build this, raise our families, and now kick us the fuck out after it's built. That's the problem.
Yeah, and then so it's just like these other, you have no other choice. I mean, like the other global powers they're all hyper authoritarian, you know, countries. Like, are you kidding me? Like, you got Americans and Canadians rooting for Iran, saying China's a better country. Like, seriously?
Oh, Justin Trudeau went on record saying he loves how China gets things done, boy. That dirty money coming in. He needs that dirty money coming in. That's why we can't afford to eat in Canada anymore. Because our real estate eats up 80 to 120 over. Okay, you make $1. You in Canada, you make $1. You're already in debt. You need $1.70 to live. So you're finished.
Yeah, but I used to remember listening to you and Layla kind of not go at it, but like you guys had some disagreements. But I was saying, like, I mean, she had a point that, you know, the real problem is like Australia, United States. It's our greed that's allowing for this Chinese money laundering at the end of the day, don't you? Right?
Well, yeah. Well, but the thing is, I'm trying to expose it in a way where people could see, hey, your property is worth this much on paper. Realistically, it's not worth that much because you can't get a job to service the debt. You don't make enough money at your job to service your own debt. And if they raise rates, and remember, I've been warning people they're going to raise rates to hedge against inflation. Remember that 5, 6, 7 years ago? And everyone called me fat retarded? They call me a fat retard. Now they raise rates to hedge against inflation. Now people can't afford afford food anymore.
Yeah. I mean, my anger is towards the NIMBY, you know, the property owners who just want their house. They see their house like a stock. They want it to just go up and up and up and up and up. So they allow for the money laundering, and they allow China to come over and buy all these houses. And they want to restrict housing construction, right? So then just anything to keep the value, to keep the demand high and the supply low, and for the foreign buyers to come in. That's my anger. That's who I'm angry at. You know, like, you know, it's just they make it possible. If they weren't so fucking greedy, you know, China wouldn't be able to do what they're doing. You know, so, I mean, I'm not taking sides on, you know what I mean, but I'm just saying, like, I think the number one problem in all these countries, Australia, whatever, because I remember hearing about, like, in Sydney, it's these greedy property owners in Sydney allowing the Chinese to, because they know they like the Chinese because they're big, they'll spend a ton of money. They've got the money.
It's dirty money, though. The thing is that the government knows it's dirty money. Everyone knows it's dirty money. That's why they have the Vancouver model in Canada. Bring in your money, no questions asked. You're from China. We don't want to know where your money. Did you watch my orange bags video?
No.
You'd remember the orange bags. You go to my channel later after the show. You go after my show. You go to my channel. Go to the magnifying glass on the search my channel. Type in orange bags or orange bags Mike Martins. Type in orange bags. Watch my orange bags video. You're gonna be like, what the hell is going on here? Watch the orange, and that orange bags video is banned, eh? Like, it's not banned. It's just shadow banned. No one can see it, right? I think Dino Bravo even mentioned that he watched the orange bags video and was like at awe with it, right?
Yeah, and also like I don't know, I'll look for it, but what also pisses me off is so many of these people, these homeowners, the NIMBY peak folks, they identify as left wing, compassionate people that care so much about the poor, but then they're just like, they're not all this, their greed, their NIMBYism is a root cause of so much of this homelessness. Like you said, people should be allowed, if they don't get along with their parents, they should be able to move out and get a $300 a month apartment, right?
Yep.
But they can't anymore.
Not free, nothing free.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here, guys, this is the video right here. It's called Orange Bags Were Used to Dispose of the Evidence. Watch this orange bags video, please. Please, watch it, everybody. I promise you it's not going to be a waste of your time. I promise. This will give you a good indication on why we are where we are now. Yeah, should be 3 times your annual income. It doesn't matter. 4 times your annual income, whatever the hell you work. So if you work at a fast food joint and you're making minimum wage, $20,000, $40,000, $60,000, $80,000 in 4 years, you should be able to get easily into a 1-bedroom apartment, no problem. No questions asked, no debates. And have a car. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not $800,000 in a 1-bedroom apartment like they're charging up here. Bullshit. Complete fabricated bullshit. And then if you have 2 people working, 2 full-time jobs, let's say minimum wage, that's at 40, 80, 120, 160, 180, let's say 180,000 a year in income, combined income, you should be able to get a little detached home. You should be able to. That's how it's supposed to work. I'm not saying people need free housing. I'm just saying it should be within wages. That's where it's got to be, right? Right? And the lower income, you're obviously going to live in a lower income area with other people in your bracket. It just adds. That's just how it works, right? Someone mentioned something here in the comments a few minutes ago that they're saying that Australia Reserve Bank, they're delivering interest rate decisions in a couple of hours. So here it is with Australia. If they raise rates, your food should stay within reason, and your fuel. If they lower rates, your food and fuel will be out of reach in the next 3 months. You won't be able to afford anything anymore if they lower rates. If they lower rates and don't hedge against the inflation, they're finished. So,
yeah, wow, yeah, it's everything's out of whack, on a balance. Another thing, I was listening to your conversation with Lenny Poo a couple of weeks ago, like I don't know, 4 episodes ago, and she used the term societal degradation. And you've heard of cultural Marxism, right?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
So yeah, and then you know about have you ever heard of Georgy Lukács or Gregory Lukács? He was one of the founders of cultural Marxism. Have you heard much about him?
Not really, no.
Yeah, you should look him up, man. This is what, check it out. I'm gonna read you about this guy, this clown, man. It says he was born in 1985. He was a Hungarian Marxist philosopher and commissar for culture during the 1919 Hungarian Soviet Republic, where he initiated radical educational reforms known as cultural terrorism. These policies targeted traditional bourgeois values by introducing graphic sex education and promoting the breakdown of traditional family and religious authority to catalyze cultural change. When Lukács became deputy commissar for culture in Hungary's short-lived Belakunde Bolshevik government, he proclaimed a program of cultural terrorism. He asked, "Who will save us from Western civilization?" And during his brief tenure in 1919, Lukács sought to undermine Western civilization, particularly targeting the Christian faith and traditional morality by encouraging children to rebel against parental authority and view monogamy as backwards. aims and influence. He believed in dismantling the established cultural foundation to pave the way for a Marxist society, a concept that heavily influenced the development of Western Marxism. Lukács went on to influence a Marxist think tank established at Frankfurt University in Germany in 1923, the Institute for Social Research. And let's see, in the Frankfurt School, then fled in Nazi Germany to come to the United States, where they're embraced by Princeton University, and their ideas influenced hundreds of college professors and untold millions of college students from the 1940s to the present day.
It's garbage.
But it's like, it's like, this is what we, instead of calling all this crap wokeism, we should be calling it what it is cultural terrorism. Like this guy, I mean, if I know about this, think about how many Marxist intellectuals and like, you know, thousands of students who've studied us across the world, and they're advancing his ideas, and they're, you know, like so much of what we're seeing today, it's intentional, and it's, you know, again, it's cultural terrorism. They are trying to destroy capitalism and Western civilization using sex and all this trans stuff and all the degeneracy, and, you know, it's
tampons
all
in the men's bathroom.
Yeah, man.
That Zuckerberg is a piece of garbage. He allows tampons and women's products in men's bathrooms, and then he removes it 3 years later, and he's like a hero. Like, look what Zuckerberg just did. Thank you, Zuckerberg, for doing this. I'm like, you put it there in the first place, you piece of shit. It's like, I'm so tired of this shit. This whole catch and release bullshit. Like, they kind of do it themselves. They plant the seed. They cause the problem. And they go back and fix it and say, look what we fixed. You didn't fix nothing, dude. So.
But yeah, like, it's just, I just wish we would, like, you know, people would call these things what they are. All right, people need to educate themselves. So like I said, like, if any of you want to, please, like, look the guy up, Georgy Lukács, Gyorgy, last name Lukács. And there was another guy, Antonio Gramsci. He's another cultural Marxist. He wanted to take over the institutions, so the colleges, Hollywood, and all that stuff, you know. And you were also talking to that guy, Corey Hart, and he was talking about that movie Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yes.
And remember, I mean, you know, Greg, Jeff Spicoli. And it's just interesting how, like, in the 1980s, early 80s especially, you had, like, the coolest guys in the movies were, like, retarded stoners, right?
Mm-hmm.
John Belushi in Animal House, you know, and there were some other movies, but, like, they were just such huge...
Remember Karate Kid?
Yeah, it's like, it just made seem like being a dumb stoner, you know, like, that was cool. And then you had Revenge of the Nerds, and so the people that are smart and, you know what I mean, they're sexless. You know, nerds.
Mm-hmm.
You have, like, you know, you got the kid from Wong Duck Dong from 16 Candles. Like, you don't want to be that.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be the guy that you want to be Jeff Spicoli. He's cool. And so they've, you know, you wonder, like, how much that movie had a massive impact on American culture, and you wonder why so many kids got into drugs. I'm not saying it was just that, but I'm just saying, like, there were so many movies in the 80s where it was, the message was, you know, just be a burnout drug addict, and, you know, and that's cool. Yeah. And, you know, but I mean, you wonder why 30 years later we have so many drug addicts, you know, homeless people, and just, you know, just degenerates. You know, like, the movies made it cool. They made it, you know, and so it's like, I wonder if, like, how much of that was intentional. You know, like, again, I go back to, you know, cultural terrorism. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's just interesting, like, and how wanted to also, like, tie that into we were also talking about black fatigue a few conversations ago.
Mm-hmm.
So, and there's one more thing I want to read to you real quick. In 1958, there was a black American man named Manning Johnson who wrote the book Color, Communism, and Common Sense. We talked about he wrote about how the black civil rights movement, as early as the 1930s, was infiltrated by communists backed by the Soviet Union. And the Soviets were using ideological subversion to take down the U.S. by finding wedge issues and hammering the wedge by backing groups on both sides of the divide. So, like, race has always been a problem in America. And so what way to tear apart America, you know what I mean? Keep driving that wedge, you know? And they also, like, pushed a lot of this garbage, like, that I was talking about before, the, you know, the sex education, the sexualization, like, you know, like, you're not old enough to remember, but you know about all about the music in the 60s and 70s, and
Yes,
you know,
yes, yes.
and all
Sexual
and
revolution, women's rights.
yeah, and just freaky, nasty. Like I love funk music from the 70s, you know. But I mean, the message was just like God, like it's just like so hyper sexualized and just nasty, you know. And hip hop and who's making the decisions? It's the record companies that make this stuff. Like Ice Cube, you know, he said that like you don't get to write if you're an up and coming, especially if you're an up and coming artist, you don't just get to write to sing and you know about whatever you want. The record company decides what your image is going to be and what you're. So they're those guys. Did you see the movie Straight Outta Compton?
Yeah, of course.
So you know, like remember it was it was all fake. You know, those guys were not gangsters, man. It was all, you know, like they decide that's our image is going to be gangster hip hop, and we're going to push all this violence, you know, and there's been so many, you know, people have talked about how they became gangsters because of listening to NWA.
Yes, and they have that mentality. Like a lot of the younger women growing up in the 90s and 2000s want that Hollywood mentality lifestyle and the perfect man, right? And they end up freezing their eggs and becoming single their whole lives and being alone.
Yeah, like a lady who wrote she was the creator of Sex and the City. I mean, she realized like you know that had a massive influence on Gen X and Gen Z millennial women, and she feels bad that you know like there's a lot of unhappy women out there because they watched that show and got influenced and thought that that's the way their lifestyle should be. That's how they should live their lives, and now they're lonely cat women, you know, with childless cat women, you know. It's really sad, but yeah, it's like the influence and you know, and where so many people are, you know, it's just they were indoctrinated in college. I think you know, like they have that such a you know, I'm not telling you anything. You know, Hollywood just has this massive left wing bias, and they push this garbage intentionally, in both in the music industry and in you know in Hollywood and everywhere else. You know, it's just been relentless, and you wonder why we've strayed so far from you know
reality.
And just the God-fearing country that we used to be, the culture and how the culture is just, you know, like Lenny Poo said, you know, the societal degradation. That was a perfect term for what's going on, and so much of it is, I think, you know, by design. You know, it's cultural terrorism.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see if we get some more callers on here. This is Black Deplorable on Mike in the Night making another appearance. I really appreciate you coming down and being here with us. Let's see if we could scrounge up another caller. Okay, buddy?
Okay, I just want to tell you one more thing. Like, we had a massive takeover of the Bay Bridge. Do you remember the Bay Bridge when you were in San Francisco?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, it got taken over by like 50 guys on ATVs and those crazy dirt bikes. And
I saw clips.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
It's these groups are going to get bigger. These team takeover crap or shut down the expressway movements are going to get bigger. They're just going to keep growing because these people have nothing to lose, buddy.
Yep.
All right, Vato. Thanks for the call, buddy. Hey, check out my Orange Bags video when you get a chance, okay?
Orange Bags, got it.
Okay, brother. God bless.
God bless you.
All right.
Okay, take care. Bye.
All right. So that was Black Deplorable essay. So we got Guljinder saying it's Portuguese fault that it's the Portuguese fault that we are much better. And then Rick Silver 55 is saying, yeah, just heard that today. Great call. Good call, Black Deplorable. Yeah. All right, let's get some movement here, guys. It's like 31.7 degrees Celsius in here. It's a hot one, and it's 26.5 outside, so it's baking in here. It's been baking all week, but all right. Okay, so we got Dino Bravo in the chat there. We got the Raven in the chat. We got Sandy for Freedom in the chat. Everyone's kind of jumping around different platforms. Okay. So, and I got another coffee from Georgios. Bought me another coffee. Thank you so much, buddy. He was watching us on Facebook, and I think he left. But thanks for the coffee. All right. Let's see what we can get here. Let's see if we can get here on the show. Let's see if we can get here. Guys, just message me on Instagram. Come on. Message me on Instagram. I'm going into my... Right now, I'm going in. Instagram, hidden requests. Someone just sent me someone sending me attachments. That's the one thing I get a lot on this is attachments, is people keep sending me... People are just sending me attachments. Oh, we got a caller here. You are live on Mike in the Night.
Hello.
Hey, man, how you doing? People are just sending me attachments. Lower the show. Guys, when you call into the show, you got to lower the show. Hello?
Yeah, it's off.
Yeah, turn it off. Talk to me. Okay, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. The reason I've put out the message, wherever the Portuguese go as a country, they make that place much better.
Oh, yeah. If you look at Portuguese Africa before and after, look at what the Portuguese were there with Mercedes taxis, cobblestone streets, beautiful boulevards, clean as a whistle, and Portuguese left. The place looks like crap. And now they're blaming the Portuguese for colonizing them. It's like, you would have had nothing if we wouldn't go there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, my background's from India. In the parts of India that the Portuguese went to, they made that area much better, a million times better. And
you're talking about Portuguese India, Goa, Damai, Diu.
Yes. And they still have the positive effect, even years later, after the Portuguese left.
Yeah.
They're still very positive effects.
Yes.
That's why I have a special place for the Portuguese, regardless who it is. Like, for example, yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then,
China... Have you been to Portuguese India?
Oh, yes. I traveled through. It's almost like a Western country there.
Okay.
And Western city.
I know there's more churches, more Catholic churches per capita than all of India. It's just in Goa.
Yes. One of the saints, Saint Thomas the Doubter, is very well revered in southern India. Bartholomew, I don't know how to say the proper...
Bartholomew. Yeah, Bartholomew.
Yes, yeah. He's more revered in the northern part of India.
In Diu.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Portuguese, you know that the Portuguese repelled Muslim attacks in the 1530s, 1540s, 1560s. The Portuguese had 3 provinces in India, and they defended it. And people from India were working with the Portuguese to defend themselves against Muslim invasion.
Oh yes.
And
so the only reasons why it's not in the history books, because you know very well the British and French, the most dominant countries that influenced India, did not like Portugal for whatever reason. Same as Spain.
Well, Portugal was fair. Why do you think India would give Portugal free territory? Why would they give them free land? Why? Portugal didn't fight India for land. They were given land.
They worked in corporations, not overruling.
Yeah. Yeah.
And with China's involvement with the continent of Africa, it's been going on since the 1950s. So they've been doing investments they try to keep under the radar. But since the age of information, last 20 years, everything's been popping up. So all the destabilizations that happened across Africa, I blame China.
Oh, China is huge. China is enormous. If you could speak a bit of Portuguese, you go over to, there's a few Facebook pages and a few YouTube channels now that have popped up in the last 2-3 years, and they're saying Chinese out. We don't want Chinese here. They treat us like slaves. They treat us like garbage. They don't hire us. They come and take our land and displace us, and then open mines and don't even hire their own people.
And it's happening here locally in Canada.
Oh yeah, Canada's been happening, and they say, "Oh, Canadians don't want to work." Bullshit, man, bullshit. You go into a bank in rural Ontario, rural BC, rural areas. You walk in, everyone's Chinese in the bank. You walk outside, everybody is begging for money outside Canadian white people begging for money. It's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my whole life. It's the most disgusting thing ever in my whole life.
And they say that white people are lazy or European descent, which is false. They're very hardworking, just like anybody else, regardless of background. They work hard they are very hardworking in all industries, construction, trades, professional jobs. They're very hardworking and very ethical. Unlike the Chinese, they might be sweet to your face, but they'll stab you in the back.
Yeah.
And many people who know the community of the Chinese community say be very careful in dealing with them. Because they're, like I said, they're very sweet to a certain point. But once you try to make a deal with them, they'll cheat and lie to you.
Yep.
Like, I'm Indian background. Even I don't deal with Indians because they're too stupid to do anything. They're very weak, feeble-minded. They want quick money. That's why I'm very careful who I deal with, even the Indian background. They're very unethical. Look at the trucking industry and the security industry.
India destroyed that.
Yes. Even the construction industry here, they're locally in Metro Vancouver. They do shoddy work. Many motor vehicle collisions in the trucking industry. They sleep on the job during the security. And I do security. I take it very serious. When I do my shift, I got like 50 reports in an 8-hour shift. Any other guards, maximum of three. Then I ask them, like, anything happen on the shift? How come I'm getting 50, average of 50 reports every 8 hours, and you're just getting 1 or 2, maybe 3 maximum?
Yeah.
It's because they take like a 4-hour break in an 8-hour shift. So that's not right. I said we all have the same standards. There's one incidents right, left, and center, especially in the downtown east side, Chinatown area. International Village. So it's like
on Hastings there.
Yes, it's easily I can make 15 reports in 1 hour. So 15 times 8. You know what the calculation is, right? So
yeah. So the problem your problem is you're of Indian descent, 2, 3 generation, whatever. In Canada, you speak the language, you're Canadian, you do your thing, and you're a true Canadian. But then now what's happening is the people that came in the last 5 years to try and fix the housing market, the 5 million Indians that came in, is destroying you now. Because now you're painted with the same stupid brush these other people that are coming in and doing and screwing up the country and pooping on highways and shitting on beaches and throwing garbage around and you know what I'm trying to say? Now you're being painted with the same brush, and that's not fair.
Yeah, of course. Because people don't see that I'm born and raised in Canada, or I'm more assimilated into the Canadian culture or lifestyle. You just see what's on the outside.
Right.
So there's, like I said, mentioned a few times before, I sometimes lie that I'm Spanish. Like, I don't know one word of Spanish. I just say, I'm just Spanish background. I'm a Chicano. So just speak English to me.
Yeah.
So I have to lie sometimes. My background. I have a little bit of versatile look. You see me in person.
Yep.
Yeah. So like I try my best to hide it, but where's that? In the times that I cannot hide it, I tell them the truth. But I say I keep a distance from them. So I tell the truth.
That's gotta suck, dude. That's gotta suck when an entire culture is painted with the same brush. People that contribute to be part of the country and the whole 9 yards. That's gotta suck big time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I think I forgot what day I reported that a clip, some kid pooping in the beach. The messages on Instagram. So that's very disgusting. If I was a parent of that child, I would whoop his ass. Let alone, I wouldn't film it. I would just go up to the kid and smack him. And go right in front of his parents and smack both of the parents for raising that child like that. It's very disgusting.
I don't want to sound too harsh when I say this, but you know how many times now I go to a fast food place, I pull in, I look and see who's working there, and if I don't see Filipinos or Canadian or Europeans working there, I don't go there anymore. I haven't eaten fast food in 4 years, man. I go, I see who's working there, and if I don't see Filipinos or I don't see Canadians or Europeans, I'm gone.
Yes, they're very high. They're coming from third world country,
Mm-hmm.
very dirty countries, well documented. When 80% of the country is very dirty, what do you expect them to bring over? Very third world class standards here in Canada.
But the
That's why
Philippines isn't 100% clean, but the people are very clean. The level of class is high for the Philippines, right?
they keep their homes clean
Yeah.
compared to the Indians. They even keep, but the Indians, the ones who come directly from India, they keep the homes dirty,
Mm-hmm.
regardless. But that's the difference.
I
And
understand.
Filipinos, they keep the homes and neighborhoods clean. It might be dirty in certain parts, but it's far away.
Mm-hmm.
But in India, it's regardless. Their own backyard. They shit in their own backyard.
That's
Then
crazy, dude. That's
they,
crazy, man.
you know the old saying, never shit in your own backyard.
Or never shit where you eat. Is it?
Oh yeah, however that saying goes, never
I
shit
think it's
in your
never
own
shit where you eat.
backyard. Yes.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate that.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's the key thing, right? So you can't paint use the same brush to paint the whole community. There's many differences among many different categories of Indians.
Mm-hmm.
There's some are very, I agree. Some of the criticism is very fair.
Mm-hmm.
Indian fatty, how you say, tiredness, fatigue.
Okay.
Yeah, some of the, what do you call it, critique of Indians, yeah, it's very fair. Like, I do not get upset over it.
Mm-hmm.
But saying that ones are born and raised in Canada who are assimilated to that we're living in Canada, so Canadian culture,
Mm-hmm.
or across south of the border in America, US, very similar to the American culture. You know both countries very well.
Mm-hmm.
You do not put them in the same category.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. But it's not fair. I find it. I get emails from other East. I had a gentleman with his wife and his kid visit me on Wednesday of last week. He came into my store and said to me that he agrees with what I'm saying about these migrants coming in from India, and he agrees that a lot of them were tricked into coming here, and there's going to be a big life waiting for them, and lots of money and stuff, and a lot of them were tricked to come in here, and then now they're paying the price, right? So
Even that take as maybe he's telling the truth,
Mhm.
but I've always put that take everything with a grain of salt.
yeah,
Maybe maybe he was participating in that scam. You never know. He's telling
Mhm.
100% truth or just 99%. I take everything, even what I say, take with a grain of salt.
yeah, man.
Always verify it, certify it, authenticate it, even whatever comes out of my mouth,
Mhm.
whatever I put in writing.
Right,
Always authenticate it.
right. All right, brother. Thanks
Okay.
for calling in. I appreciate you calling in and giving us your advice and updates and stuff, and I appreciate the super chat too. Okay, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
We'll get you back on. God bless you. All right. So that's Blackjack Romano, by the way, if you want to know. It's Blackjack Romano. So I'm going to my hidden requests. No hidden requests. We got Mike there being paid to live here. Yep, they're getting subsidized wages. They're getting like housing grants and all kinds of stuff to be here, right? My dad came from Portugal with 50 cents in his pockets, had to pay family back for tickets to fly to Canada to bring us here. Everything. It was really hard. We had to, I think we lived in like Palmerston Avenue in Toronto, like downtown Palmerston Avenue. And Palmerston, I remember that. We lived there, and yeah, it was pretty tough. It was really hard. But my parents ended up getting a mortgage, paying their house off in 4 years or 5 years, paid off at 16 or 18% interest. Right? So, yeah, that's Blackjack Romano, guys. All right, let's see if you guys are messaging me here on the Instagram. It looks like people are just randomly calling in, which no problem. Go ahead and call in. Hidden requests. Who do we got here? Nobody. People just keep sending me, I don't mind, but they just keep sending me reels. So people just keep sending me reels. I just keep getting reels from people about other people talking about stuff. Okay, more hidden requests. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at the hidden requests here. All right, what do we got going on? All right, guys, if you want to pick up your boy a coffee, I really appreciate it. If you guys want to buy your boy a coffee, there it is right there. I'll put a link in the description. We got a whole 4 coffees today. Thank you guys for the coffees today. I really appreciate it. This is what keeps this transmission going, believe it or not. It's just this helps pay the internet bill. And guys, don't forget, you can find all kinds of good stuff here. Go to the orange bags video. Go up to the magnifying glass here. Click orange bags, and you'll find the video I'm talking about. Please watch it. And mikeofthenight.org takes you to a playlist of past episodes of Mike in the Night. And here we are on Facebook here, talking. And we're also on Instagram. I'm going to give you guys the Instagram again. If you want to follow us on Instagram, I really appreciate you to message me on Instagram so you could come on to the show. And then TikTok, guys. Again, we got another... lots of issues here with videos being taken down here on TikTok. So, and if you want to buy a t-shirt or something, go ahead. Should be a link in the chat, in the description. And Dano's got 9 days, 23 hours left. Let's vote for Dano. Tomorrow morning when I first go to work, I'm going to vote for Dano. He's currently second in the group. So if you guys want to vote for him, go ahead and vote for Dano. I'll give you guys the link for that too. Dano's a long-standing Mike and the Nighter here on the show. And, yeah, there's Dano right there. Woo! Dano, you're tuning into Mike and the Night. Let me take a swing of water here. It is... I gotta take some water here. I'm really hot. It's like 32 degrees. All right, PDS 10, Paul, my buddy Paul there, just sent me a link to the data centers. Here they are here. These are all the data centers here. And these are all the underwater lines that are connecting these territories together. Man, Greenland is not much. Look, one of these lines go out in Greenland. Wow, they lose. Wow. But there it is. There's the major East Coast. Right there. Yeah, there it is right there. For you guys. There's Guatemala here, Venezuela, Guyana, Paraguay, Argentina. Yep. That's pretty cool. Go over the Arctic here to Russia. You got all the... So these are all the data centers, guys, being built. Well, there's a whole lot of them in like a whole Italian region is completely loaded. Portugal's semi-loaded. Yeah, Portugal's pretty loaded here too. It shows you if it's operational, non-operational. There's Africa here. Well, there's nothing in Angola. And there's nothing in Mozambique. Portuguese Africa is empty. Let's go over to... Brazil's pretty heavy duty. But the States, man, these are the fusion... We've been warning you guys about these fusion centers. I don't know if you guys remember. We were warning you guys about fusion centers in 2012, 2013. We're looking at fusion centers that basically take your driver's license, your social security number, your health medical records, your driving abstract, your like everything, your report card from grade 3, everything is there in fusion centers. Texas has the biggest data center. Let's go to the Republic of Texas here. Let's go to Texas. There's a big infiltration here. Huge infiltration up here. Down in Houston, it's pretty big. Man, there's so many of them. Holy crap, man. Oh, just east of Fort Worth, there's a lot there. Wow. That's pretty intense. Thank you, Sandy. She voted for Daniel. Thank you. Yep, that's what it looks. It looks like a brain connected to a hive. It says Booby. Booby says it looks like a brain connected. That's what it is. It's the fusion center and how it infuses everything into one. Yeah, people do check their phones hundreds of times a day. Yeah, Rusty Behemoth's got a good point. I haven't turned my phone on in 2 weeks. I leave it dead. Yep. I'm just going over this right now. Sorry, guys. Let me show you what I'm looking at here. These are all connections. These are all inline connections. It's all fiber optic, all kinds of connections through here. That's pretty cool. All these data centers. Even Cuba's got something going on. Probably in Havana. A little bit of sparsity across Cuba there. You know what? I want to go to Darwin, Australia. Let's go to Darwin. Because I know Darwin's got a big... There we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Why is us... Come on. Here we go. What? What's that? Is that Darwin? This may be Darwin. This may be the Darwin area that we were talking about and reporting on in Australia. But maybe not. I may be wrong. Darwin may be further east. But there it is right there. And there's Sydney along here. That's the populated areas of Australia, folks. See, this is what you're looking at here. The populated areas of Australia right here. And New Zealand's completely covered. And then you got... see what China's got. Holy shit! Holy shit! Look at China. Holy crapola. Wow. That is intense. And Japan is completely covered too. Wow, look at that. Wow. That's pretty good. Thanks PDS10 for sending us this thing here. So he's saying you can't walk one block without being recognized on data centers. Yep. That's what it's for, guys. Digital prisons here, folks. Everyone laughed at me in 2016 when I kept saying 2017 digital soul, digital prison. They're coming for you. They're going to lay the groundwork and they're going to do it. Okay. All right. What do we got here? All right, I'm just checking to see if anyone's messaging me. Thanks, guys, for the coffees tonight. Georgios bought me 2 coffees. Thanks, buddy. And Tio bought me a coffee, too, tonight. All right, let's see who we got here. Let's see who's messaging me. No messages coming in, folks. I gave you guys the Instagram a few times. Yeah, you want the link to this, guys? Hold on. Let me see if I... Is there like a... This one's got power plants. This one's got solar. This got... Man, this thing's got everything, man. This thing tells you everything here. Let me... Hold on. Gridworks.com. All right. I think this is it, guys. I don't know if I'm giving you the right link, but here's the link to it. Boom. Man, I'm hot. Man, I'm boiling up. That's a lot of data centers, man. Oh, this is so cool. Watch this, guys. I could turn off other... I could turn on things. I could turn off all of this stuff. Okay. And then if I choose to, boom. Just leave the data centers alone. That's the data centers, right? That's just data centers. Right there. Got a few in Brazil. All right, I found out how to use the legend, guys. On the left side here. Yeah. I want to go over back to, we're over India here. We should be over Malaysia. Australia should be right here should be Australia. Let's see if it opens. Come on. Woohoo. It's a little bit slow, guys. It's okay. But it's giving us information we wouldn't get. Come on, open her up. Come on. I just want to see if I was right about the Darwin thing. Okay, so the data center's up here. It comes around. But there's so many in New Zealand. Holy shit. In China, come on. There goes China. Look at all that wire. Look at all that. Holy shit. Anyways. Yeah, thanks PDS10 for sending us that. All right, guys. What else we got for you guys here? I'm going to actually save this damn thing on my desktop. I'm going to save this damn thing on my desktop. So when I want to see it, I could bring it up for discussion pieces, right? All right, who wants to call into the show? Let's go, let's go, let's go. It's Mike of the Night. Who wants to call in to Mike of the Night? Come on, guys. Episode 649.
Digital chains, but they call it ease. Track every move, every thought, every need. Police decide while you're fast asleep, and they smile on camera, but their game runs deep. Gold gets news while the headlines lie. Wars get funded while the markets fly. Inflation rising, but they change the math, and they blame it all on the aftermath. No accountability, no rewind, just another phase in the grand design. But the people waking, yeah, you see the shift. And once you see truth, it's a permanent gift.
Eduardo.
Mike, what's going on? I'm having a bad hair year, man.
You're going to have to repeat what you just said. You're having a bad what?
Hair year. got to start wearing baseball caps or something.
Oh, you look so cute with that hair. Can I show everybody?
This is bad, man. Anyways, I don't know if you've been heard about what Peter Thiel's up to these days.
No, I haven't. Hold on a sec. Let me put you on full screen so everyone can see your cute hair. Hold on. Okay.
Should have grabbed the cap or something.
That's okay. You look cute. Go.
Yeah. Anyways, you've been following what Peter Thiel's up to now?
No, sir.
Apparently, he wants to tokenize all the stocks and possibly all the assets so that we can trade them on the internet, high frequency trading, even quicker than what we're doing it now.
Well, I wouldn't see what the point of that would be. You just lying. I just picked up, trimmed a little bit of my trees today on my stock in my portfolio. I took some fruit off the tree today. Went in, not even 3 minutes. I did what I had to do and got out.
Yeah.
So
here's the thing, though. If he's going to tokenize it, doesn't he have to have the paper certificate for it first?
Oh, so they take control of ownership of the stock.
Meanwhile, we're holding the tokens, which are, you take cash and you buy your tokens to get on the streetcar. Remember those days?
Oh, yes. And if you lose the tokens, it's your fault, or you don't use them, that's on you too.
You got it.
Yes.
So, I don't know. Let's see what's in the chat. See what other people, if anyone else picked up on this. But talk about you alone, nothing, and be happy. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they're coming. They're coming for us, brother. This is a big deal. Like, this is a big deal because it's been in the works for so long now. And it's getting tiring, Eduardo. It really is getting, like, no one voted for this bullshit. Why are they allowing it to keep going?
Well, I don't know if nobody voted for it. I think a lot of people voted for this elbows up shit. Just the previous caller there explains it quite well.
Yeah.
You guys want to see Bubba? Come here, Bubba. Here. Still wet. She went swimming today. Hey, how come you're complaining about the heat?
Dude, it's like 31 degrees in here.
Man, it got up to 20 today in Markham, Toronto.
Oh, okay. But it's...
People were wearing shorts. I'm thinking, what the hell is this?
Dude, I've been wearing shorts since February, dude.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm not joking, dude. I'm not kidding. I got my car on the road third week of February.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
And we had snow last week. A week ago, there's a bit of snow.
Oh, lucky. Yeah.
I think the snowmobile field is still open in Northern Ontario.
Yeah, and then a one-bedroom where you are is for $600,000 and snow last week. Yeah, good for you. You should be getting paid to live in Canada. But no, we should be getting dividends for the amount of energy and resources we have up here. No, that goes to China. Don't worry about it.
People are starting to clue in. Saudi Arabia has got a smaller population than we do. They only got oil and silicon sand.
Mm-hmm.
They don't pay They don't pay income tax. They don't pay for education. They don't pay for medical.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Canada, we got all that Saudi Arabia has, plus all the trees, all the gold, all the silver, all the cobalt, all the nickel, all the water. Fuck, we got it all here. Why are we getting ripped off so bad? Where's all this money going?
Again, China comes, opens biggest coal mine, biggest lithium ion mine, biggest two big gold mines. Everything is owned by China, not by the Canadian. The problem is the Canadian proper doesn't own their own mines. A majority of mines are owned by China. I keep telling people this, and they're buying up farmland and just leaving it. They're not working the farmland. No one's listening to me. It's like, whatever. And then once it hits the fan, somebody's going to come like Joe Rogan and say, look, China destroyed Canada. One day he's going to come out and say it, and says like, yeah, I've been telling you guys for 15 years, and no one gave a shit when it mattered.
Well, the reason why they're buying up all the farmland is farmers started to rely heavily on the banks to get to buy the seed, to buy the fertilizer, to buy the fuel, buy the equipment.
Yeah, they got bought out.
Yeah. So the farmers are financing everything.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the banks start saying, nah, we're not going to lend you some money, that's it. They're out of business. Done.
And they're forced to sell to Chinese investors.
Yeah. And then they bring in, they brought in all these boards where you got to pay like crazy to get on a milk board or get a milk quota. So they control that. They drive the prices up on the price of milk. But the quotas you're paying was $100,000 a cow or something ridiculous for the quota of the milk that comes from one cow or something. The crazy numbers. Maybe it's 10,000 or something, but don't quote me on the number, guys.
Well, government does that. You know how government does once they start federalizing everything. Oh, you want to put a stop sign on your street? That's going to cost 80 grand. It's going to be 80 grand to put up a stop sign, right? 80 grand, you could build a whole village in Nicaragua.
Hey, did they drop the speed limits in your town there?
Not that I know of, no.
Because here, Markham Road used to be 70 kilometers an hour for the longest time.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's down to 50 for the last couple of years. I noticed this happened during COVID. The speed limits came down all over the place. Bubba, up. Come. Oh, she's camera shy today.
So, Rusty Behemoth Hammer has got something in the chat. Walmart introduced digital price tags, too, by the way, for active repricing. So when you go to Walmart, this digital price tag, so it just changes. The pricing could change in real time when you're trying to buy something.
Yeah, they threatened this about 6 months, a year ago. So what they're going to do is they're going to find out how much money you got in your bank account or what your credit rating's like. And if they think you can afford to pay more, you will. And that'll be your price. Now, if you don't have 2 cents to rub together and your credit's shot and your bank account shows a negative, you're overdrawn, well, then you're going to get a really good price because they figure you don't have the money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all part of the control grid that's coming for us soon.
Control grid's rolling out.
Yeah, and then if you speak out against what's coming, they throw in the gulags for, I don't know, forever. So, see you in the gulags, Mike.
But what happens? So, Bill, I told you about this last 2 shows ago that Bill C-63 is being retabled. Remember?
Well, sure. That's why you got all the floor crossers that got bought out. And the son of that MP, he's got a whole bunch of some kind of sex charges going on in Winnipeg right now. I don't know if you caught wind of that yet.
No.
The guy's a real piece of work. Meanwhile, Daddy gets contracts for $750 million to build something like 40 houses or something. Yeah. That'll probably never be built, but they'll take the money.
That's like Kiwi Build. Kiwi Build did this with Phil Tyford and Jacinta Ardern in New Zealand. They did Kiwi Build. They were going to build 100,000 homes for local New Zealanders. They ended up building 3 houses, and all 3 houses were sent to auction for Chinese to buy. I'm not joking.
Yeah, you gotta love socialism.
But Trudeau tried to do that Canada Bill too, 100,000 homes too. It was just for money laundering.
Yep. So, if you're going to work for organized crime, you're going to work for federal or private?
Oh, well, obviously private.
Or public or private?
Private.
So you're going to work for the mafia then?
Well, I'm a private citizen, buddy.
Well, you can work for the public mafia, which is called the government.
That's right. Like Mitch Madden always comes on the show and says, back in the day, if you knew what you were doing and you open your own business and you make the big bucks, or you work in the corporate ladder, you start sweeping the floors in the warehouse and then work your way up to manager. But if you can't do those, then you work for the government, right? So that was the 3rd step. So first step was open your own business, be an entrepreneur, make money, the pursuit of happiness, America. Second, work the corporate ladder, work your way up and become something. Or third, if you can't do either one, if you don't have the capacity to do the first and second, then you work for the government, right? So.
Well, back then the government jobs didn't pay as well, but they had good pensions even back in the day, and the wages were less than the private sector. But you had good job security, and everybody knew if you worked with the government, you're going to be a bit of a slacker. But nowadays, government jobs is where the money's at.
Yep. Because the government's is just milking us for the money, the private sector. The government doesn't produce or make anything, right?
Why are you being so kind to them? It's milking. They're stealing our money. Come on.
Yep. They've been stealing shit from us for years now. Been
And the
robbing us
biggest
for
part,
years. It's really sad.
and then you look at projects like the oil drilling. They drilled a dozen. I know of one project where they drilled a dozen oil holes in Quebec.
Mm-hmm.
Found lots of oil. I think they paid something like $30,000 a well to put them in, and then they got paid something like $100,000 a well to cap them.
Yep.
That's good government investment, isn't it?
Yep. It's really sad. Super sad how this is being allowed to happen, and I don't know why. We're super broke right now, and it's gonna get worse because now we're running complete deficits. We don't have the money to fund the public sector anymore like we did 20, 30 years ago, because 30 years ago it was under control, Eduardo. Now it's no longer under control anymore. Right? The town I live in, close to 90% of my town is all government workers. There's nobody like me with my little store and everything. And then people come in my little store and tell me how I should run it and what I should do. I'm like, why don't you own a business if you know how to run a business? Because they'll drive it into the ground in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, they'll be gone. The door will be locked.
Yep. Well, I could have had a prosperous business. I could have been doing well right now, but the whole economy is so screwed up. The labor laws are so screwed up. The expenses are through the roof. I just can't be bothered. I've got enough to get me through.
Yeah, you have enough to get you through, but you're not. You're not playing that swinging arm branching. What is it? What do you call it when monkeys branch around and try to? Well, because the government workers are like monkeys branching around trees. They lose one job, they continue working for the government, and they get the food and beverage job. They lose that job, they go work for the transportation and driving. Like that lady in Australia, that one that screwed up with the COVID fraud, with a big COVID fraud in Australia. She ended up losing her job as health minister and then became traffic minister. So they never leave the government, these people. They're pariahs.
Yeah, people are okay with it for some reason.
I don't know why.
To this day, I just don't get it.
I don't know
People
why.
trust the government. Why? They're just a bunch of thieves. Like even down in the municipalities. It goes right down in municipalities and the province. And then Doug Ford was last week. He announced he changed the laws that he doesn't have to hand over his publicly paid for cell phone or the transcripts or text or something.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't need to be scrutinized anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Change the laws. I want my privacy.
Yeah.
But us, no, we got federal bills coming in saying the government can reach into our phones, and even I think one of the bills they're proposing that you don't even need a warrant from a judge anymore.
That's right.
You can just thought crime.
Bill C-63 allows you. They're allowed to go back 10 years of what you said.
Yeah. Hey, government, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Stick that in your pocket and smoke it.
Yeah. They don't
Come and
produce
get me,
anything.
boys.
They don't make anything. They don't profit anything. They don't grow anything. Everything they touch turns to fucking shit. And they want to eliminate the private sector as much as possible and blame the people that built this fucking country for their problems today.
Well, that's socialism, Mike. We were warned about this by Sergey back in the 80s.
Yeah.
So the demoralization, I'm sure, is there. What are you picking up in the chat? Anything?
Okay, once everything goes digital, tokenized, it's game over, and it's organized crime in plain sight. Always has been. Someone's asking me for what website. I'm not sure. PDS10 says, I sent you my address. Did you receive it? No, there's somebody else messaging somebody else. All done by design. And Ed, what do you think about how many cops there are in Markham now?
I don't know. The only cops I worry about are the canine cops when I take my dog running in the ravine.
Is there an increase in police activity?
Say what?
Is there an increase in police activity in your area?
I haven't seen any.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't need cops in Markham anymore. There's the Chinese got those scanners where they take everything off your phone instantly.
Yeah.
So they'll probably send that to China, and then it goes back to the RCMP or CSIS. And then I'm still waiting for that knock on the door. It hasn't come yet.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, they've dumbed down the cops so much they probably come to the wrong door anyways.
Did you guys have a Chinese police station up in your area?
With all the Chinese people here, for sure we do.
Yeah.
I was talking
Yep.
to a Chinese guy. He didn't even want to go live whatsoever. He didn't want to have his face shown whatsoever. He keeps his face off of social media, doesn't comment nothing. He's terrified of these cops. And he's been
the
here
China
for
guy?
over 20 years. Yeah, he's been over here 20 years. He was born in China but educated here in Canada. And I think the guy went to I don't even want to say the school that he went to, just so that the guy's so paranoid. He says it's bad. He says, well, they won't touch me, but if I got family back in China, they're going to pay the price for anything I do. And he's terrified. Well-spoken English, so that's how they control them. So yeah, socialism is coming in hard and fast here in Canada, and you know what? It's all planned. A few people will control everything. The billionaires will do quite well. Everyone else is going to be a serf. Well, we're already serfs, but that's what they're pushing through. That's the agenda. Now everyone's saying, "Oh, we're done. We're done. We're done." Former Yugoslavia, former Kazakhstan, former USSR. There was always a black market.
Yeah, there is.
Always. Silver and gold, guys.
Yep. Silver, gold, food. Food is money in the bank.
And if they try to take away all the guns, which is what they're going to keep trying. I think Canadians are smart enough, and they've learned their lessons through history. Never give up your guns, regardless what those fucking bastards want to do. Don't give up your guns, guys. They're going to come in awfully handy. And for the last 5 years, it was hard to get. I think it's still hard to get rifle primers in Canada.
Yeah, it is, actually. In some provinces, it's easier, but depending where you are, yeah, it is pretty hard.
I know large Magnum rifle primers were scarce as hell for years. I picked up a whole bunch down in the States. You can bring up to, I think you can bring 5,000 across the border with you. No problem.
Oh, can you?
Yeah. At least that's the way it was a year ago.
So someone's saying society will split at one point, digital slaves and medieval Stone Age corporation. No. Sorry, and medieval Stone Age rebels. Kind of like a cyberpunk. Have you ever played Cyberpunk, Eduardo?
What is that?
It's an old game. It's an old RPG.
The last game I played, the video game I played, was probably Mrs. Pac-Man.
Okay, I'm talking about
Role
playing. Anyways, let's see who else is in the comments here. Involuntary compliance got to resigned all contracts, all caps, names, and corporation.
I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that because I'm still sitting on the fence as far as that one goes. Is there some truth to it? Who knows? But I know the sandbox that we currently play in, it's the only sandbox out there. Got to remember, they got the guns, they got the cops, they got the lawyers, they got the judges. It's their sandbox. Now, if we play in it, if we propose different rules, well, you're going to have to find a different sandbox to play in.
Yep.
And that's the long and short of it.
And the fucked up part is the people that have built this fucking place are the ones that are being fucking ostracized. That's the fucked up part.
I was just talking to Stefanos briefly today, and he was looking at gravestones. And he came across a whole bunch of little kids that had died, and whole families that had died. And he's thinking, I wonder why these guys died. He says, well, what year were they dying in? He starts naming off some years as well. Were they winter months that they died in, or the spring that they were buried? Is there, well, I don't know. This is, well, could have been the natives who were killing them. They could have been dying from diseases. They could have been freezing to death. Prior year, maybe they didn't grow enough food. They could have died from starvation. Life was pretty tough in this country 150 years ago.
Yeah, they just blame the white guy for it.
Oh, right? It's always the white guy's fault, always.
Yeah, but even though they brought sanitation, running water, electricity, modernization, like modernization that they brought from Europe, they came in these big ships and everything.
They stopped a lot of the natives native wars.
Yep, there was lots of them. You know when the
Yeah.
Portuguese, you know this, Eduardo, you can look this up. You know when the Portuguese showed up to Japan? The Portuguese were the first Europeans to arrive in Japan, the first. And you know what they did when they arrived? They stopped the shogun families were at war. The second the Portuguese walked on that beach to the shore, these guys were warring each other with these big swords and all kinds of crap. I'm not making this up. Look up the Portuguese arrival in Japan. It's pretty interesting how they stopped the shogun wars and the warring families when the Portuguese arrived.
Interesting, but they had cannons, right?
The Portuguese had cannons, yeah, but I'm saying, but when they arrived, the Japanese were, and the Portuguese brought gunpowder from China to Japan, right? Japan got gunpowder because of the Portuguese, right? They imported it over, right? But anyways, just like you said, they stop a lot of the warring that was going on, right?
Yeah. But gunpowder is not that. It's pretty easy to make, actually, when you get right down to it. The form is not that complicated,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a lot of stuff you can buy at your garden center, and then saltpeter, I guess, from your pharmacy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let me
But
see if there's
try not to blow yourself up, guys.
yeah.
Don't do that at home.
So Mouth of the
Oh.
South is here tonight. We got the Raven here tonight. We got so Raven saying the Portuguese showed up in Japan in 1543. And
Wow, you guys were early.
oh, super early. I'm not joking when I told you guys. That's why we're hated by so much. Historians hide our history because we were in search of Tartaria too. If you look at Portuguese world maps that they were mapping out in the 1500s, if we were in Japan in 1543, we already found Tartaria. It was called Tartaria Occidental e Tartaria Oriental. It was already mapped on Portuguese maps, right?
Well, apparently the 12-foot people all died around the 1850s, 1860s.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a lot of humans that were 12 feet tall.
It could be the mud floods too, right?
Who
Mud
knows?
floods wiped out a lot of people too.
Who knows? We're slowly learning that even the history's been adulterated a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then came across another piece today where they're talking about the history of the Schofield Bible and how this guy became as a preacher in the actually in the Niagara area, and back in the 1890s, I believe it was, a lot of people were playing around with religion and such, and then the Schofield Bible got rewritten. So even the Bible's been mucked with.
Mm-hmm.
So it's part of the what is it we're living through right now? There's a name for it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Great Awakening. It's the apocalypse, and it's
I
lifting
call
of the veil.
I call it the skyscraper dark ages.
Well, it's a lifting of the veil, and the internet has helped with that a lot. When I grew up as a kid, there was no such thing as the internet or a computer, for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Commodore 64 when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
But you couldn't do jack with that. There was no internet to speak of. The internet didn't come into play until I don't know, early 90s,
94.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember buying my.
I want to show everybody, Eduardo, real quick at home. Go down to our channel. Go down, and you'll see Erased Conspiracy Vault. You'll see the Tartarian Empire, decommissioned pyramids. We were talking about the decommissioned pyramids years before anyone has. So I took all the videos we made and made one compilation video here. Tartarian Empire and the decommissioned pyramids. Watch that, and then watch Operation High Jump Memoir 72 on our Conspiracy Vault area here on the channel, on the Mike Martin's channel on YouTube, if you guys want to just catch up on what's going on with that. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, Eduardo, because there's some important information in some of those videos, some little little bit sprinkle information in there, carefully sprinkled in there so I don't get in trouble, you know?
Yeah. Have you looked into geopolymers at all lately?
No. What should I know?
There's some kind of silicate and something else is mixed, and it creates something called water glass. So the modern day cement and masonry that we use these days was designed in the 1800s,
Mm-hmm.
and basically it replaced all that stuff, and that's when they started firing brick and using Portland-based mortar that's just basically burnt limestone. And then you add Portland cement and sand, and there's your mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Add some aggregate, and there's your concrete. And it's water-based.
Interesting.
So what they used to use before that for thousands of years was something called water glass.
Mm-hmm.
And all these ruins up in the Aztec Mountains, that was water glass. It was cast.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd have these little nubs coming out, and that's where the excess water would drain out.
Okay.
And that's why, for years we were taught, oh, they had much better technology. We can't duplicate it by today's standards and today's equipment. Like the joints are so tight.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at that, I says, no, that looks like it's been cast. I kept that to my mouth, like kept it quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked at these pyramids. I'm thinking, there's no way they would go to all trouble of moving these huge stones such distances.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's coming out that all they were doing was taking the sand that was in the desert, and it was a geopolymer that they created, quite commonly available, and they do a process of water glass, and actually the water glass would actually soften certain stones when you went to excavate it.
Mm-hmm.
You can literally scoop it out with a wooden blade.
Mm-hmm.
So this history is just coming to light in the last year or two. So
Well,
they lied to us about the pyramids
Mm-hmm.
and the Incas and those civilizations.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of this stuff was cast in place,
Yeah. Well, it could be.
And
It definitely could be. I could see it being more feasible to do it that way than dragging shit around the desert.
yeah, you mix up your batch, you pour it in your mold or your form,
Yeah, and you move on.
wait for it to harden. A couple days later, you go and put the next row on.
Yeah.
Not rocket science.
Yep.
But we got to get lied to. And you look at all these big, huge, the Sphinx and that was cast.
It had to be cast.
Well, no, or ancient civilizations with different technologies.
Okay, different technologies, some laser or some stuff we don't know about. Yeah, sure. But
Well,
I think it has to be. It's too perfect.
Right? Yeah,
I can't see them getting a square stone and just carving out that guy's face like that. And yeah, I don't know. Unless you had some really skilled stone carvers, stonemasons at the time, really skilled, super skilled, and you can't make a damn mistake because if you do, you screw the whole thing up.
No, it was all poured.
Yeah.
But yeah, with the geopolymers getting exposed, like this old form of geopolymers, now that they figured out how it's made,
Mm-hmm.
the concrete industry could be in big trouble because a lot of those things still exist.
Mm-hmm.
And current day concrete, 50 to 100-year lifespan, maybe.
Yeah.
Whereas this stuff lasts thousands of years.
Yeah.
So, and it's pretty simple to make. I got a feeling the concrete industry will be changing a lot in the next few years.
It
as
will.
word gets out.
It will, buddy. It will.
Yep.
I think we're just getting started with it.
Anyways, enjoy your tokenization. You alone nothing.
Tokenization. Well, Eduardo, thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, you'll own nothing and they'll be happy.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Later.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on, updating us, keeping us in tune on what's going on. I really appreciate your time here, and we'll get you back on whenever. Okay, tell Stefanos to call in, please.
Yeah. Oh, people that can't get on, don't want to call in. All you gotta do is go to your Instagram page, click on your picture, go to message you, hit the messages, expand that. And when that page expands, you'll see a little phone icon or a movie camera icon. All you do is hit that. It's a bit of a pain to find. I still struggled with it to this day. So, but I found it and I called in.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Have a good night. Ciao.
Good night. Ciao. All right, that's Eduardo on Mike in the Night. Making a difference here tonight. Trying to make a big difference here. Yeah, evolution for monkeys is a lie. Moon landing is a lie. It's all bullshit. Global warming. Remember fuckface Al Gore? Remember that fuckface Al Gore? Remember fuckface Gore? Remember him? Oh, Florida will be underwater by 2012. What a piece of How was this guy not in jail for misleading the world? I didn't believe what he said. I didn't believe a damn word he said. But, so, anyways, let's see if there's anybody here trying to get through to the show. Okay, who do we got here? No new messages and hidden requests. Hidden requests. Nothing. Oh, whoa. No, I got someone here. Got someone that wants to call in. All right, let's get another caller in here. All right. Put him on the mic in the night chats. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. All right. All right, he saw my message. All right, we're going to get another caller on here. Mic of the night.
It's 3 a.m., the city's breathing low. Streetlights flicker on an empty road. Neon whispers secrets through the rain. Truth don't sleep, it calls your name. Clock keeps ticking like a warning sign. Shadows dancing past the county line. You feel it stirring deep inside. Something's shifting, nowhere to hide. Turn the dial, let the signal through. There's a voice in the dark reaching out to you. Mike in the night, the voice of the Commonwealth. It's 3 a.m. and something is moving you. I have spoken, people of the night. Welcome to Mike in the night, where the silence breaks and the truth takes flight. Smoke and headlines torn, promises fade by early morn. Governments play while the people wait. History knocking at heaven's gate. Whispers travel through the wire. Truth burns slow like midnight fire. You could run but you can't deny that feeling crawling through the sky. Turn the dial, let the signal through. There's a voice in the dark speaking straight to you.
Welcome to Mike in the Night. How you doing tonight?
Hey, right on, Mike. Thanks for having me, man. I'm doing very well.
Right on. What region are you calling us from?
I live in Alberta, Grand Prairie.
Okay,
Alberta.
so just east of me.
Yep. I actually just drove through BC the other day for my work to deliver a water truck in Abbotsford. And it was friggin' an amazing drive, man.
Cool.
Yeah.
So what do you got for
right
us?
Through BC.
Well, you're obviously on the road. You're seeing things evolve around you. What do you got for us tonight?
Yeah, okay. First, I just want to say I really love your channel, man, and what you speak about and everything. I kind of discovered you like a year ago, and the video that like made me subscribe, and I shared it with a few people, was you were talking about the Chinese real estate takeover, and you explained it in great detail and very easy to understand and follow, and I was like, man, this guy is spot on. So that's first. I just want to say thank you for the great job you do.
The only problem that makes me bitter about this for years now is that this problem could have been solved back in 2012 when we originally made videos exposing this and nobody cared back then.
Right. Yeah.
So we wouldn't be in this problem today if it would have been solved 10, 15 years ago when it actually really mattered. Now the damage is done, right?
Yeah. And I'm kind of under the belief, like, I think it's all just part of the plan. They ain't trying to solve anything. It's all just being sold out. And the government has zero flying S to give. And the corruption is so deep on a global scale. We're just a resource colony. And, so it's like we can point it out and the people can be aware, but it's like no matter how loud we scream, no matter what gets found out, it's like there's no one being held accountable. It doesn't matter.
So now we live in a place. We want to live in a major city. You got to dish out $400,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment, right? And then major U.S. city in the U.S., depending on what city. Like I'm talking South. I don't give a shit about New York and California. I mean like Florida, Georgia, Texas and stuff. You could pick up a 1-bedroom still for $35,000, $40,000.
Yes, I've seen that.
Like and even houses for $55,000-$65,000 detached. And if you're way outside the cities, you could pick up a 2-3 acre lot for $55,000. And people are
right.
Yeah, Canada, we don't have that opportunity because everything's been sold out to the highest bidder, and we're destroyed.
Yeah, I know, it's brutal. So I really like that. But there, okay, so I just wanted to also comment on and see what you think and a little bit of optimism here. So what the last guy you had on, I really liked listening to him. And he was saying like, there'll be different price structures at grocery stores. If you make a lot of money, you'll have to pay a lot. If you're poor, you'll get your groceries for cheap. And I couldn't help but kind of think like, because I just got back I went to Argentina for 2 months over the winter. I just went for a vacation and I was like, screw it. I don't want to work the winter anymore. I'm taking a break. I've been saving my money. And, they had like a horrible collapsing economy, but they also had like a big black market. And I was thinking like, even if that digital thing comes, we all know someone that's on welfare or is like doesn't work and they're lazy, and we could be like, hey man, I'll give you some free groceries if you go out and do my grocery shopping for you. I need that discount, man. Like, come on, we're family. And they'll be like, okay. And you drive them to the store and you'll buy them a couple extra groceries, but they'll buy all your groceries for you at like, super cheap. So that part keeps me optimistic that even with this total control and the scary future, I think you're still going to have people finding loopholes and working around the system and, doing what they got to do to get by. And do you have any optimism or hope like that?
Well, parallel economies always exist, but governments will find a way to shut it down and tax you 41% or 48% on anything you make. So we can't even buy black market petrol here. Like when I was in the Philippines, if you watch some of my Filipino videos traveling around these islands and just going around, I'm buying fuel for my motorcycle from somebody's house.
Right. Yes.
They're in bottles.
Here, good luck.
Yeah, they're in clear bottles. They're on the side of the road. You put the money in a can and you take the fuel you need and just pour it in. Sometimes there's nobody there. You just put the money in the can and pay for it and just fill up your motorcycle with the 1 liter glass. So you could see the fuel inside. If it's diesel, it's a different color. And if it's fuel, it's a different color. So you could identify it, right?
Oh, yeah.
And let me tell you, man, we can't even buy black market petrol here. In Jamaica, my friend in Jamaica says, oh, man, if I hit hard times, man, I convert my front of my house into a bar, man, and put an open sign and have a tiki bar in front of my house and have people in there, tables and stuff in the front of the house, in the front yard, and just convert it to a bar for 2-3 months of the year when things get slow. I'm like, wow, you can do that in Jamaica? Of course you can, right?
Yes.
We can't do that kind of shit here in Canada. We do that shit, they shut us down in a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's what I was like. So I went to Argentina. Sorry to keep bringing it up, but it was awesome. It's expensive, but it's way freer than Canada.
Of course,
like there, you got people all over the place, little markets set up, people just like putting a blanket out and selling books or selling socks or selling whatever they want to sell, you know, flowers, it doesn't matter. And there's no like bylaw up their ass, kicking them out everywhere because it's kind of everywhere. It's like, now I get it. Like, okay, it's because times are tough and the economy is not good, but even still, like at least like here, if you were to try to, you know, oh, God forbid you try to make a few bucks and sell some books on the side of the road, you know, bylaw will be ticketing your ass so fast.
Yep.
I noticed it was so much more freer in Argentina, and including like with smoking and drinking and going to the airport, and just everything was more chill. And like here, you know, like you could buy individual cigarettes at the corner store in Argentina, you know,
you can,
things like
for 10
that.
pesos.
Like, yes, exactly. In Argentinian pesos. And I'm just like, man, this is chill. Like, why isn't it like this in Canada? There's so many bloody unnecessary rules here. But anyway, yeah.
It's the red tape bureaucracy. It's this is what actually kills a country, is when they remove that side market or that side parallel economy, or the black market disappears. It actually hinders and hurts the country further, because you have less private citizens, private sector. The black market contributes to the private sector. Right? So the private sector people that sell those books on the side of the road could go buy groceries later. But those groceries may be tied to a corporation that actually pays the government the tax. So once those people can't sell those books on the side of the road, they're finished. Because then that money doesn't escalate up to food and to other things, right?
Yeah.
So that's the problem. So Canada is like, we are so stricken here. I don't even know what to do anymore, to be honest with you. I'm at a point where I'm just waiting for my wife to come home one day pissed off and say, let's move to the Philippines, let's move to Portugal, let's just go somewhere else, right?
Dude, I know. And I was thinking that when I was in Argentina too, like, because it was fun and hip, and I was looking at real estate prices and they weren't crazy, you know, like you could be downtown Buenos Aires, a 1-bedroom little condo apartment. It was like $80,000, $75,000, $100,000. And I was like, yo, I'm like, you're downtown or in the like most popular area of Buenos Aires. I said, if this was Toronto, like this was Canada, this would be $1 million condo, you know, like
$1 million condo. Yeah.
Yeah,
and then
like
in Canada,
right in the heart of Buenos Aires, the biggest city. Like, but the whole time I was like, man, I wish I could live here and move here. I speak a bit of Spanish, but not enough to like hold a job or be fluent in anything. And then I was viewing it through like a touristic lens. You know, I was only there for a couple months. I told that to some of the people that live there, and they were all like, oh, I want to move to Canada. Canada sounds like the best. Like Canada, there's opportunity. There's no opportunity here. And they were like, I would just do what you're doing and just work in Canada for 7-8 months of the year and just visit here. And that was like what the Argentinian people were saying. But meanwhile, I was like, you don't know Canada and how shitty it's getting and hard. And I said, I want to live here. But, you know, the grass is always greener on the other side, or isn't always greener, whatever the But
you know what the effed up thing is? You pay $1 million for that same condo in Toronto, or $800,000 for the same condo in Toronto that you could buy in Argentina for $100,000.
Yeah.
The problem in Toronto is you're going to be surrounded by people that hate you. You hit the street and you look out, you're walking down the street, people look at you like you burnt their freaking house down. No one smiles, no one says hi, everyone's pissed off. But in Argentina, you're surrounded by those people. And those people are predominantly Catholic, they're good people, they're God-fearing, right?
Yeah. Oh, dude, I found them to be very intelligent, very friendly, curious. There's bookstores everywhere down there. I played a lot of chess. I would set a chessboard up downtown in some of the squares. And as soon as I set it up, no matter which city I was in, it would be like a never ending stream of people wanting to play chess with me. That's how I actually met a lot of Argentinian people and had some good conversations. Yes, and I didn't see like, okay, this is going to sound bad or whatever, but I didn't see like I saw 2 people from India the whole time I was down there.
Mm-hmm.
There was no mass exodus of Asian and Chinese and Filipino and Indian and
Mm-hmm.
Pakistani or whatever. It was, but they do have their own immigration problem with like, because Argentinian locals are like mostly Italian, like 70% have Italian in them, but they do have like a immigration problem of like Ecuadorians and like Peruvians and Bolivians and stuff is what I was kind of told and saw.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, but I'm just pointing this out for similarity and like, you know, comparison purposes and whatever, just conversation, you know.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
yeah.
fine. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's really
It's
yeah,
interesting.
and the food must be incredible there, especially the street food must be incredible too.
Oh, of course. They pride themselves on their food. It's a very Italian, like a lot of the food. A lot of pastries, cakes, pizzas, dough, heavy carb type thing, schnitzels. A lot of German, oddly enough, like like food as well. A lot of schnitzels and sausages, and they're big on their meats and their meat sandwiches and stuff too. But it was cool. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, Eduardo, if you go back to older Mike and the Knights, Eduardo was in Argentina for a few months reporting for us. The guy that the guy that just called in.
Okay, right on. What was his kind of take on it, or what
He loved it. It was a great country.
Did he like
it was cheap.
What was
Everybody's
his?
nice. Everyone's sympathetic. Everyone loves each other. It's
Yes,
predominantly Catholic. You go to a predominant Catholic country, no one's going to stab you in the face on the street.
No, dude, I was so safe. I never felt in danger once, and I went every city down there. Like I was booting all over, hanging out at night, real late. Like it's a pretty, like, of course, you know, knock on wood, I got lucky here too, but I felt pretty safe.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. But unfortunately, Canada was like that in the 50s, 60s, and 70s when it was predominantly European, right?
Yeah.
You have little Portugal, little Italy, little Portugal, little Italy, little Greece. You know, Greek. You'd have all kinds of different cultures, and they respect each other's culture. We go to food festivals in different streets. We'd have all kinds of cool stuff. And unfortunately, Canada's changed that. They don't want in 1993, Canada pretty much closed immigration into Canada from Europe. Made it almost impossible for Europeans to get into Canada. In 1993.
Doesn't make sense, man.
Yeah, they did it because they wanted to. Basically, they needed. Who's going to build this shit? You think the Chinese?
Yeah.
You think the Chinese are going to build all this shit? No, they didn't build nothing.
Right.
You know, and give it 10 more years. The history books are going to say, without the Chinese, the Europeans would have never built a railroad without Chinese. Give it 10 more years. You'll see how without China, we wouldn't have a railroad in Canada. Watch. Give it 10 years.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, the history books are so like constantly. I notice being rewritten, and I see like. Yeah, I see people spewing out stuff about history, but then I go, holy crap, you're just making it up as you go now. Like it's whatever people you want. Like every race around the world built this country and every country, the Pakistanis were integral in the building of parliament and our government. I go, what?
Without, like, we only exist out here because of Pakistan. That's the only reason. That's in 10 more years. That's going to, 10 years.
But Sri Lankans were critical in the hotel infrastructure. I mean, what the?
If you look at some of my videos, I collect history books published several hundred years ago, and my history books. Everything they're telling us is a complete lie from what they were telling. Especially the world's population is not what they're saying it is. Not even fucking close. Not even close to what they're telling. I think there's 2 billion people in the world. I believe there's 400 million in China, and 200 million are over 60.
You think it's less, eh?
200 million, 2 billion. That's
wow.
that's on a good day. I don't believe we have that many human beings on Earth. I'm sorry, sir. I just don't believe it. According to my,
I have no idea. I'm open to I could believe there's 20 billion. I could believe there's 2 billion. I'm not too sure. I never really thought about that too much. So
I have a video that'll change your mind. If you go to my YouTube channel, go to my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Click on. Go to the magnifying glass there's a little magnifying glass when you're on a desktop computer. There's a magnifying glass there. Click it.
All right,
and then type in population, and you'll see all my population myth videos in the last 10, 15 years. And it referencing books that were published 100, 200, 300 years ago, telling us the population of a certain region. But the problem is they need to have 150 kids per family to make it to where we are today if they want to have that much population. And no famine and no wars and no needs to take place for the population to be 7-8 billion today. I don't believe it. It's all bullshit, dude. It's complete bullshit.
Interesting.
They lied about the moon. They lied about every fucking thing you've ever touched is a lie.
Yeah, that is true, right? Yes, I know. That's why I like. There was a time, like it was actually before COVID. I was pretty naive. Like I kind of trusted the government, the news. I thought all this talk would have been crazy talk. Same thing with like religion and stuff. Now I'm more spiritual, and but I've realized over time, especially after like COVID switched the flip 180 degrees for me. But I've realized, like, yes, what you just said, like everything has been changed. I don't trust anything. I don't know anything anymore unless I've seen it with my own two eyes. Like I can't say for sure one thing is one way or this is that, so I'm very open now. I've realized, like, someone says, oh, I experienced a miracle, or, oh, I was abducted by aliens. I used to be like, oh, you're an idiot. That's not true, blah, blah. Now I go, oh, really? Like, tell me more, like, who am I to say? So same thing with your 2 billion thing. I will watch some of that. It's kind of interesting, actually, because I never heard this take. But, Craig, man, you could be right. Like, I have no idea. So
unless all the history books I'm referencing were all lying. Every single one of them was a lie. Right?
Yeah. Well, we hope not. But they say, I'm sure you've heard this a million times, history is written by the victors.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. But, if you get some time, go to my conspiracy little playlist on my YouTube channel. Watch all of them. The Columbus Files. Watch the Tartarian Empire. Watch Watch every one of those videos. You'll enjoy every one of those videos very much.
Cool. And I'm really into that kind of stuff, especially their Tartarian, like the old fancy infrastructure and stuff like that. And I go, what the hell happened? Like, that's what I noticed again in Argentina. Like the architecture was this massive, amazing, like Roman style buildings with columns made out of marble and granite, the most detailed architecture. And every building has like gargoyles on it and the most like detailed, intricate carvings and stuff. And I'm like, where is this in Canada and America? Like, why don't they make this anymore? What happened?
Oh, again, the European expansion built a lot of that beautiful infrastructure that we have here that lasts hundreds of years, right?
Yeah.
But that's.
And I'll just finish it off. One more thing about Argentina, which I know is no fentanyl down there.
Well, no, because fentanyl comes in from China. Argentina, they don't have any resources to make fentanyl. Fentanyl comes in from China. And it comes from the Shenzhen southern province. We covered this back in 2015 on my channel. I showed a map of China, where it's coming from, how it's going to Benito Juarez, Mexico, and it's going to like the Kitimat area in Canada.
Right.
And the fentanyl comes in through that way, right?
Yeah,
and Donald Trump already intercepted a couple of shiploads of fentanyl that could wipe out the entire western seaboard, right?
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah, all from China, right? And that's why I kept telling you, if you go deep in my channel and start seeing some of my deep stuff, you're going to see I made a video called 2-3 years ago that Canada is going to start faking fentanyl busts on purpose to show America that they're doing something about the fentanyl. I made all these predictions, and everything's happening just as I said, because it makes perfect sense for them to do that.
Yeah. And yeah, you nailed it, man. Because I have seen for some reason on Facebook, just these random, it'll be like in Ontario, a police station will be like, oh, we busted this guy for a traffic stop, and he had a kilogram of blow on him, and this and that. And then I'm like, I was thinking, like, I hardly ever see fentanyl factory busts or any big fentanyl busts, and I go, well, how? Like, if it was all made here, they say, and this and that. I'm like, where are these?
They had a fake fentanyl bust. Hold on. They had one fake fentanyl bust. They had one. And there was one, and then people started messaging me after saying, oh, you were right about the fake fentanyl bust. There was a fentanyl bust in Canada, and one janitor got arrested. Nobody else.
Yes, exactly. They're pitiful. They're like the tiniest little busts and stuff. And I go, what? I go, there's no way, man.
It's all bullshit, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It's total bullshit. Yeah, when you're passing through the province, see if you can stop by my shop.
Sure, for sure. I would love to one day. Yes.
Yeah, stop by my shop, check on me, see what's going on. But
that's right.
Yeah,
cool,
yeah. Anything else you want to add?
No, thank you for your time and let me spew out some stuff. And I love listening to the stream there and hearing the different views. And like I said, man, I just really respect you and appreciate you pumping out like the truth or your version of the truth, which, I pretty much align with like everything you say. Like you're on point. So just don't let the haters ever get to you, man. And just keep doing you. And like, I appreciate it, man. So thank you.
All right, brother. You take care now. And you have a good night. Have a good night and call in a couple of weeks to update us on what you see. Okay, bud?
Yes, for sure. And I'm here in Alberta. I'm following the independent thing pretty closely. I think there's been some big smear. I don't know what's going on, but they're like, oh, the Alberta independent people leaked all this information and stuff. And I don't know if it's true or if it's just a smear or if there's inside plants or what's going on. It's getting nasty. And the rhetoric and comments in sections are getting really angry and vitriolic against each other. And there's a lot of trolls and stuff. So I'll keep
break it down for us next time you come on. Maybe go get some footage for us. If you go to a rally or pass by a rally, just film the footage and just send it to me on the Instagram chat there. Just send me a little clip there, and then I'll play it on Mike in the Night, okay?
Cool, man. I can do that for sure. I will be your little Alberta on-the-ground reporter up here at Bear Prairie. Yeah,
I appreciate that, brother.
Cool, man. All awesome, right. Mike. Appreciate your time, buddy.
God bless you.
Yeah, take care. Bye.
All right. First-time caller. See, every show needs one first-time caller. Every show needs one first-time caller, please. That's what we need every show. One first-time. We'll get him to update us in a week or two if there's any turn or any events with the Alberta separation. You guys know they're not allowed to separate. I've been telling you guys since a 2017 video up about Alberta separate. 2017. It's on the channel. Mike in the Night. 2018. Alberta separation video we made. Already they were discussing it back then. So this is the section of the channel I want to show you guys again. Like I said, the caller, go to the Mike Martin channel, go down to Conspiracy Vault. You can see our $7,000 home we built in the Philippines if you guys want to watch it. You could watch our Philippine adventures, Portugal adventures here in Portugal. Or you could watch, but this is the Conspiracy Vault I was telling the gentleman that called in. Columbus Hidden Files, the Knights Templar, how 0 Point Energy got killed, the Butter Conspiracy, Tartarian Empire and the Decommissioned Pyramids, Operation High Jump, Consciousness is the foundation for existence. That's consciousness versus awareness we've been talking about for years here. Healing power of 432 hertz. Again, consciousness versus awareness again. Killing us softly with the chemtrails. Gold Back Hidden Wars. This is really good. Gold Back Hidden Wars. So just go check it out, guys. Lots of good stuff to check out there when you get the time. But yeah, a great caller. Good caller. I like these first-time callers. Yeah. I want to thank, somebody bought me a coffee. Barbara, thanks for the coffee. Barbara bought me a coffee. Thank you, Barbara, for the coffee. I really appreciate it. So we got 1, 2, 3. Well, we got four coffees tonight. Thanks, guys. That's how we keep this place going. Literally, that's how we do it. Like, I don't get a salary or get paid to be here. I almost sold out. I could have sold out. I read the emails to you guys. They try to buy me. Video's up. All right, who else is here? Who else is here tonight? Let's see if we got any hidden requests. I got no more. Yeah, we're wrapping it up. It's the third hour, going into our third hour here, folks. It's just really hot in this room, and the computer isn't helping with the computer on. It's like 31.3 degrees in here. It's really, 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 really hot. And right now outside it's saying it's 25, but I'm gonna go outside for a walk after this. But I'll just try to see what else is there here. Just going through your comments here, folks. Yeah, I appreciate you guys coming out tonight. Appreciate the callers. Yeah. Rusty Behemoth Hammer saying Canada is the most unproductive G7 country. I see Dano in the chat. Let me plug him for the third time. Dano, I'm plugging you for the third time tonight, guys. Guys, go vote for our boy Dano. People in the comments have been telling me he's currently second in the group. Here it is. Copy. Go vote for Dano. There it is. Go vote for Dano. Please and thank you. Please and thank you. I appreciate it very much if you do. Very much. And Dano's going for the People's Artist of the Year award. He's worked pretty hard to do his thing, you know. You can follow him on Instagram. Right on. All right, let's keep going here. What an artist. What an artist. There it is. Vote for Dano, guys. All right, guys. It's Mike of the Night. I guess I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I'm going into my third hour already. And don't forget, guys, if you want to join the email list, email me, MikeMartins1988@gmail.com, to let me know that you want to come on, that you want an email sent to you when we go live. That's all it is. I'm not going to bug you. I'm not going to email you for crap. Nothing. When we go live, you'll know when we go live. And remember, guys, viewer discretion is advised. 21 and older. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Fact check and do your own research. 18's U.S. Code, Section 2257 for Mike of the Night. And that's it, guys. Episode 649, the final phase has started. And that's where we're at right now. And yeah, we'll be on next Monday. And we'll be on next Monday, folks. And yeah, I really appreciate you. Appreciate everybody. Let me find a send-off song here. Ooh, that's a nice one too. I'm just trying to see if I could Thanks, D-Man. Thanks, SFM Collective. Thank you, Glenn.
Transmission. Life. Neon shadows on the street.
Thank you, Rick. Thank Rusty Behemoth Hammer. Dino Bravo.
Silver skyline. Hearts ignite. We awaken in my mind. Every fear just fades away when the rhythm starts to play. You don't know what's wrong. Alright, you just moving right in the night. Close your eyes, don't fight the fight. Feel it lifting you higher.
Thank you, Ghostly Doors.
Clock hits 3, you're finally free. At 3 a.m., something's moving you. Feel it breaking through, like a wave you can't undo. At 3 a.m., let the darkness shine. We've crossed the line.
Martin's here signing up for episode 649 of Mike in the Night. Take care, and if you can't take care, stay safe. Mike Martin's here. I have spoken.
Something moving you.